On March 17, 2022, 30 months ago, we had our first Have Your Say 247. We have since had over 150 episodes. In terms of TV hours, we have had over 1,000 hours of TV shows. In days, that is over 40 days. These are some of the names that have graced the show as panelists. We will honor them in a special meeting today at 6 p.m. New York time and 11 p.m. Nigerian time. Our meeting hall has room for 1,000 people. Please join us. Please come with your own refreshments. If we missed your name on the list, please let us know. Paul, Judin, Dominic, Muhammad, Mr. James, Nne, Victor, Jude, Mutule, John Abba, Kulata, Mama H.O., Dr. Daniel Emeze, Kene Ngozeka, Chilaka, Sacred Infinite Energy, Body, Ostino, Bob Chisco, KJ, Show, Okija Okija, Man of Prestige, One Africa, Dexter, Maska, Bumi, Pastor Andrew, Eagles Air, Righteous Man, Pansat, The Flagship, OBE, Ovie, Femi, Mazi Prince, Jagun, Christian, Olumide, Sola, Ike, Alaba Ferreira, Forefathers, The Blackstone, CM.
Gentlemen of the press, we came here this morning when we heard that according to what they call themselves, Nigerian police are coming to take over the premises of Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission. And I had to come myself to find out why would such a thing happen. From what I heard, that DC operation brought them here to withdraw policemen that are already here protecting this place, so that new officers will take over the place. But I have to say this on a very strong note. We've been taking enough nonsense from this institution. Everybody is aware of the court judgment, and even the judgment as they call it, the ruling. Did the ruling specify anywhere that election should not hold? He said, don't give voters register. What are we doing with it? Okay, police, don't provide security. Don't provide security. Is this the same thing as blocking the election? I don't know what the relationship between Inspector General of Police and one person who claims he has so much power in this state. I don't know the relationship, because it's beginning to go beyond the normal professional relationship. I said the government wrote a letter with the judgments that we have to him, and what he's acting on is what he called the federal government, the judgment he got from the Federal High Court. Even at that, if we should go by that, if the judgment in the Federal High Court, did he say election should be bad? Lifu, that's that justice that gave that fraudulent judgment. Did he say no election? Rather, it technically said don't provide. We don't need your security. We will provide our own security. After all, it happened in Anambra. Go away with your security. But this election must hold. If you like whatever it is you want to do, do it. The election result will be declared. People will be sworn in. I say it here. What kind of a country is it? And when it comes to the issue of Rivers State, it becomes different.
be different.
You're not ashamed of yourself. You call yourself Nigerian police.
Enough is enough.
Enough is enough. I will be here. In fact, if I go back and I hear anybody, I will come here. This is my property. And you don't have any power whatsoever to bar me from entering it.
Yes.
Just try it. That part of your history as a very wicked and fraudulent Nigerian police will include shooting Fubara.
Yes.
I think I've given you enough respect. Well, let me say it to all Rivers indigents. Everyone residing in River State, election will hold.
Yes.
Yes. Hold.
Yes.
Election will hold.
Yes.
Anything that wants to happen, let it happen.
We are here. Other states did. Yes. We are here.
I don't understand.
I'm not going anywhere. Let me fear anybody. We are here.
All other states did. So, everybody, just relax. Nothing is happening. We are ready. If we know that this is going to be the last fight, and we will take it to the end. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Not paying his tithe is not going to heaven. Full stop.
I'm going to be apologizing for making a mistake, for saying that if you don't pay tithe, you might not make it to heaven. I'm sorry, that's wrong. That's not in the Bible. What the Bible says is, ye are peace with all men, and holiness, without which no man shall see God. Now, let me tell you, listen to me. You know, it is possible to be right and wrong at the same time. I prove it to you. I mean, I'm a scientist, so I know that. For years, we taught that light travels in straight lines. Now, is that correct? At least those of you who know a little bit of physics will say, sure, the light doesn't bend at corners, it goes straight. But later on we discover it's not just not straight as a rod. Light travels in waves, going in one direction, but in waves. It is wrong to limit you to 10%. At a time when some of you should be 20%, 30%, 40%, 10% should be for beginners. Giving should be violently.
For 14 years, I did not visit Onitsha city. I don't come in Onitsha city. I don't born in a village. I born in this Onitsha city. Number 3, Newe Street. I born in this Odabo. And I glow in a dangerous street, Oshma Street. And I become an armed robber in the age of 40 years. I became a terrorist until Jesus Christ arrested me through by the help of my mother to change my life. And a destroyer become a savior. I died many years ago.
Citizens, as Bayo informed you, I am in the UK for my annual leave. So, do not trouble me for the next 2 weeks. If you have any problem with the national honors you received or nonsense concerns like that, please do not visit me in London. Go to Vice President Shetima and sort it out. You don't have to say it. I know. I will be praying for you all. For those wanting to know what I will be doing during my leave, here is what my doctor said I could reveal. I will play Ludo, draft, and what with former President Buhari and former Head of State General Yakubu Gowon. For obvious reasons, They now live in the UK. Before all you busybodies like Rufai Oseni and Dr. Damages start pontificating and troubling yourselves, I understand that former US presidents Barack Obama, George W. Bush, and Bill Clinton so much love Buhari and Gowon's example that they are relocating later this year. They are considering 2 countries in Africa, Kenya and Nigeria. I've ordered Nigeria's ambassador to the US to visit them and present why Nigeria is the place to be. Imagine Obama, Bush, and Clinton residing in Nigeria. Imagine the message it will send to other African countries. What accomplishment of mine will surpass that? That a country that sent the most significant number of enslaved people to America is now the home of 3 of America's last sensible presidents. Men, I won't have anything else to prove if I accomplish that. I will quietly resign. All right now, see you in 2 weeks. Until then, God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria, where might is right and woe to the weak.
And I am ready to die defending Nigeria in whatever way. When it is God's time for us to go, it is
and you
not
took my
going
time to talk. You are ready to defend Nigeria. I gave you my time.
No, I'm coming.
Alexi, hold on. You already started.
What I'm saying, defending Nigerians is this.
I gave him my time and he's using it to defend me.
No, sorry.
Alexi.
I'm sorry.
Alexi.
That's a good question. That's a great question. I don't know what is wrong with them all. I don't know what is wrong with them. Somebody is asking for where you do your course and you are sure you did your course there. I agree with you. But a lot of what we hear, because you didn't hear this direct from Tinubu, because you know lawyers are very funny. Sometimes lawyers will say, you must not say this. I mean, you know what is happening to Donald Trump right now? Donald Trump that guy is walking himself to jail. And he is coming down to say that, oh, well, it was my lawyer who said it. It was your lawyer who said it. It was your lawyer who said that you should march people to the capital and stage a coup. People stage coup in Nigeria. They never live to tell the story. That's what I tell them. They never live to tell the story. They are summarily tried within a short time and sent to jail or made to face the firing squad. That is the way it works. But it's only in America where somebody put a gun to your head and you say, all right, well, you are quoting the First Amendment.
This is not a joke. It's not a turn-by-turn thing here. I wouldn't be here. After this election, stop coddling Showore and having him running his mouth. He cannot win a single local government. So
you are the one running your mouth. Like, stop, be respectful to Showore. Are you mad? Are you all right?
Mute that guy. Mute him. It's my turn.
Are you mad?
Mute that boy right now.
Don't forget, that state is now an oil producing state. So they now have derivation, if you are not aware. So if you want to speak for anybody, please do not defend a character like Yabelo. Please do not.
Okay, let me respond to him. One second.
Do not defend a character like Yabelo. Do not.
All right, thank you, Mohammed.
The people of that state.
Can I respond to him?
No.
Then go to hell. Rudolph, go to hell.
All right.
Rudolph, I've never seen this part of him before. My God.
I hope that Nigeria wins. I'm never going to wish any president evil so that I can say I told you so. No, I won't wish them evil. I hope. You see, I'm not praying. There's no point. I can't pray for Nigeria to be fine. I only hope that Nigeria wins and Nigerians win. Because if you choose a dodgy doctor who has a dodgy record, who has, all sort of accusations leveled against him, to say this doctor, we think he's done this, or this doctor, this surgeon, yes, he's a senior surgeon, he's the most whatever surgeon, but there are a lot of accusations leveled against him. If you choose him to operate on you, and you tell me to pray for you that it doesn't kill you surgery, what's the point? I can't pray. You might make it, you might not make it. My prayer won't change anything. So I hope
Nigeria and Nigerians win during Tinubu's 4 years. Thank you.
Tinubu is a criminal, yes, of course, a categorical grade 1 criminal. The only person more criminal than Tinubu in Nigeria is probably Babangida. But he's a criminal, and is he fit for purpose? Absolutely not. Should Tinubu be the president of Nigeria? Categorical no. Is there a better option than him? That is subjective. So show me who he is.
Hello, welcome. It is Saturday, October the 5th, 2024. Welcome to another episode of Have Your Say 247. My name is Rudolph Okonkwo. It's a wonderful day here in New York City. I hope it's a wonderful day wherever in the world you are joining us. And we have an interesting conversation for today. Of course, we cover everything that is happening across Nigeria, Africa, and the rest of the world. So join us. President Bola Tinubu of Nigeria is on vacation in the UK. That is not new. It's been going on. Former presidents going on vacation. We should actually give credit to Goodluck Jonathan. I don't remember him going on vacation in the UK or anywhere in Europe. But anyway, he's on vacation, and the country continues to basically go on remote control. In Rivers State, they are having elections for local government chairman. And of course, if it's Rivers State, you know there are crises. And as usual, there are problems out there. And we are going to talk about what it means for Nigeria in terms of local government autonomy and the dream that we have that the states could be independent and they could run on their own without having to depend on the federal government to determine what happens there. So we're going to talk about that. We are going to talk about the Wike factor in what's going on in Rivers State. Some people counted this is the part 7 of the conflict between Fubara, the governor, and Wike. So we're going to follow up on that and see how it's going. Meanwhile, Pastor Adeboye of Redeemed Christian Church made a U-turn that surprised a lot of people this week. He once preached that you have to pay your tithes to make heaven. I think finally an angel came to him and he decided to say, okay, that's not true. That's not in the Bible. We're like, what? We've been saying this thing for a long time. Anyway, we're going to talk about the church and the leaders of the church. We know that the Deeper Life Church, the leader of the Deeper Life Church was the first that made a U-turn of recent. And how many of them have things they have to tell us as they get older and they think about making heaven themselves? We're going to talk about all that. Also, a similar story, Odumeje, most of you know him, in Daboski, came out to make his own confession that he was an armed robber at the age of 14, and that he got saved and he became a Christian. I don't know with him whether he's serious or not, but that was what he said, and a lot of people are talking about that. We will weigh in because these are important discussions. Also, we have other issues that we want to talk about, which are things like Wizkid. Wizkid has been talking. He lost his cool. I don't know what happened. I want to know. People like Paul, people who follow social media, may tell us what's going on with Wizkid. You know, he used to be a cool guy. He started talking and he was talking too much. Not just talking, but talking too much. We are concerned about what he said about Davido, who is his competitor in the business. So we talk about all these and other things in the news. But first of all, let me say that we have some changes we're making on this platform. If you look at the banner on the lower level, you will see a new message we are putting in there, and it says that by entering this stream, by joining the studio, you are agreeing to Iroko Post TV's talent release terms. So we have designed a talent release terms. Anybody that comes into the studio, we appreciate them. They are talents, and we want to value their talents. And part of that is that they have to agree to certain terms before they come into the studio. So by coming into the studio, you are agreeing to those terms. If you want to see the terms of the talent release form, will be on the private chat. So we urge everybody who is joining the studio to find the time to read through it, because by joining the studio, you are agreeing to those terms. One of them is that, all the codes of conduct we talked about, no eating and blah, blah, blah. Another one is you have things like, the moderators are people who are here to run this show, and they have to be respected, and they have the right to say, if you are not acting well, we will take you out. So there are many other things there. We want everybody to take the time to read it and agree to that. These have become necessary so that we don't have misunderstanding with people. Okay. All right. So we are going to start the show. Let me bring in those who are in the studio. If you want to join us, please turn on your camera. If your camera is not on, we are not going to bring you in. Turn on your camera. We'll bring you into the studio and we'll begin the conversation. All right. Let me see who is in. Okay, Show is here. Show, welcome to the show. Paul is here. Paul, welcome to the show. Man of Prestige is here. Man of Prestige, welcome to the show. So we are going to start with Show. So tell us, Show, what did we miss in some of the things you listed?
I don't think there's much to add to it, apart from maybe, I'm not sure if you included it, the House of Rep saying that their Oga has been disrespected, that, you have to give him the GCON, the same Tinubu give to Akpabio. And as they say on the streets, Tinubu folded and is now awarded him the GCON. So it might be worth, just touching on how they honor themselves and give awards to themselves for a job well done, for making the lives of Nigerians better. I guess that's why they're awarding this, these things to one another. So yeah, Tinubu folded and is awarded Abbas GCON. So Rudolph, yours is
mine is coming. All right. Sure. Sorry, I have to say this on air. I have an emergency. just I have to take care of something. Will you be able to?
Yeah. Is it for the rest of the show or your?
No. For 1 hour. 1 hour.
1 hour. Okay. So
I see forefathers around.
That's fine.
Yeah, please.
I mean, between me and forefathers, we can do it.
Yeah. It just happened now. So let me.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. All right. I'll see you guys. I'll come back. I'm so sorry. Something just happened, but it's not too bad. Yeah. All right. Thank you.
All right. No problem. Right. So that means everything I want to say, I would keep it to myself since I'm a moderator, except for that comes up. All right. So, Paul, is there anything that we missed?
Well, Nigeria is very, very big in the US. You can see since 2012, they stopped Nigeria from visa lottery because we already meet our eligibility over 50,000. So Nigeria is very big in the US. So I would have still like us to touch a little bit about the flood that happened in the US. It happened across like 4 states. I strongly believe that it may also affect Nigeria a little bit. So I would still like us to talk. People may want to come, and my sympathy goes to some of my Nigerians and other Americans who are going through this pain at this time.
Okay, thank you. Man of Prestige, welcome. Anything that is of interest to you that you'd like to share with us briefly?
Yeah, good morning, good afternoon, everybody. What is the table of contest? I don't want to counterize what we already table. I mean, I just joined, so okay. Let me just
So,
give my own.
do you get the WhatsApp message from Rudolph?
It's okay. Let me just give my own what I would like to bring to the table. Maybe if it is already on the table, so be it. It's about the IPD camp in Imo State that was supposed to be established, and the building has been burned down. So President has come to deny it, but I don't know what he's denying. He said it was a fake news, but it was the right news because I watched it on TVC. We had the guy, one of the House of Representatives, Tijani or something like that, was going there to inspect the place. So it was supposed to be an IDP camp. So I don't know what the Imo State governor is kind of denying that it was a fake news. No, it's not a fake news. So they have intention of doing it. I'm against the vandalism, going there to burn everything. But they shouldn't bring an IDP camp in Imo State. I mean, they have plenty of land in the north, so they should establish it there. That's a warning to them that if they do that, whether it was an intentional to aggravate the people in Imo or the Southeasterners, I don't know what's the reason behind that. But this is a warning to them. Don't bring it there because it's going to be chaos in that area. Because those boys over there, they won't agree to that. They're going to use any means necessary. That's just my opinion from what I'm hearing from my people in Imo State. So, but right now, I understand there's no plan of doing it because people are already deny it's a fake news. But I don't believe anything that come out of Nigerian, government. So that's just what I want to table here. So.
All right. Thank you, Man of Prestige. Okay, so we'll start with the topics we've sent out. And so let's start with you, Oga Paul. So the president is currently, President Tinubu, is currently in London on a 2-week work vacation. I don't even know what, work holiday. I don't even know what that means. I know what it means, but it's currently on holiday. So just to find out, your presidents, the current and the past, when they go on holiday, how far from home do they go?
Yeah, the president will definitely go to Delaware this last time, and he went to California. That's what the president do. He go back to his people. That is what is called working visit, because when he go back to his people, he touch back to his constituency and greet people and every other thing. Technically, then if the president don't want anything like that, he go to other states. So after the so-called primaries and the likes, and everything, the president traveled to California. This is what they do. I've never seen a president come outside to state they are going for vacation anywhere. Never. It never happened. Even when Trump traveled to Ireland to go see where his mom, because Trump mother come from Ireland. When Trump traveled to Ireland and everything, they even accuse him
Scotland
that he traveled to Ireland to go spend vacation and spend money. Even when people try Scotland, when people try to even accuse Trump that he never likes his mom, never put his mom picture, but they still even twist it just for him to even go there, go to the house that his grandparents live there and everything. They accuse him. That's how far it can go. Even when it didn't even happen, they play politics around it. Talk less of this one. They even put it in the front and everything. It's a slap on our face.
Okay, thank you, Paul. Man of Prestige. So there are some people who think the president has come for medical treatment. It's been speculated by some people that, he's probably in London for treatment, especially, you remember, before he went back to Nigeria to support the people, the flood victims in Maiduguri, there was a video that circulated of him leaving a clinic in London. So a lot of people are saying he's probably gone back for treatment. He's probably tired. He needs medical treatment and the rest of that. Now, in 2023, just last year, the chief of staff, Femi Gbajabiamila, said the clinic in Aso Rock, which is estimated to have cost us 21 billion naira. He said the clinic, and I quote, is like anywhere in the world. The standard is very high. The equipment is world class. From my understanding, there are some equipment that you wouldn't even find in too many places all over the world. So let's even, for the sake of this conversation, how do you react to the fact that our president, our government officials always take our money out to seek medical treatment?
Okay, thank you very much. That statement that was made by Jamila, to begin with, that's the graduate. That's a scam, what he just said. I call it a graduate, That's exactly what's happening in Nigeria. I don't know who they try to deceive. I mean, there's no clinic in Abuja, and it's not functioning. So let's call it what it is. So let's talk about Tinubu going back to London. He's in London right now. Yeah, he's entitled to a vacation as a president, whether it's 2 weeks or, but they have to be very transparent. Are you going there for vacation, 2 weeks here, 2 weeks vacation? Okay, say you're going, be transparent. Don't come, casual that you are going on a retreat, because they used to, do what to enumerate where he's going to. They say retreat and a working vacation, a working holiday. Which one is it? I mean, just come out and say whether he's going to jail for hospitalization or whatever, starting kind of treatment. I mean, he's an old man. I mean, there's no, he has to go. He has to get certain kind of treatment, whether it's getting a boost or whatever, that is not even the problem. But the problem is that you've been in power for about a year and a half. You have not been able to establish a working hospital whereby you can go. Tell me any of the foreign presidents that come to Nigeria for treatment, or go to another country for their treatment. Every country that I know, even some African countries, South Africa, they have a reasonable standard. It don't have to be the highest standard, but at least whereby you can go and get a reasonable treatment. We keep on saying about what's going on in Nigeria. You can't even build a hospital where you can set the standard and and go for a treatment. You always go to a foreign country for a treatment or vacation or whatever. That's a security implication in that. That's what Nigerian people don't understand. For a president to always going to somewhere. So that, having said that, whatever is going there, they are not very transparent because of the antecedent. Why would I believe anything that they say right now? Why would I? They have shown me the example that all they do is propaganda, to that country. Very simple thing. You are going on a vacation, whether it's true or not. Because I don't believe anything they say, So it's very, very concerning, where we are in that country.
Okay.
And one more thing I need to say in reference to that. I mean, if you're going on a vacation, you have to delegate the responsibility to the vice president. I was reading something, people say he's scared. He don't want to do that because he doesn't know what's going to happen.
Working vacation.
Exactly.
No, vacation, you don't need to delegate.
So that's why
you believe that. But anyway, let it be whatever they said. But the
so, man of prestige. So I think to what you're saying, they called it a working vacation to make it seem like it's not on total holiday, so he doesn't have to delegate power. If now you go give power to Shetima.
But truth be told, man of prestige, to some extent, you're wrong, though.
Okay.
There are so many presidents that do come to Nigeria for treatment.
Ooh, okay, tell me one.
The former president of Tanzania, Ghana president, the former president of Brazil.
Wait a minute. Are you talking about in this decade or before?
No, in this present time, they come to church, TB Joshua Church, they come to Odumeje Church. Okay. Church is our new hospital. That's where they heal people.
Let's move on.
I'm not joking. It's our new hospital, church. Ghana president come, Brazil come, Tanzania come. They come to church for treatment. Church is our new hospital.
I don't believe you. I think
I'm serious.
It's a banter.
I'm serious. Church is our new hospital in Nigeria. That's how far we've gone with hospital in Nigeria, church.
Okay,
sorry for the distraction.
It's fine.
Whatever it might be, but anyway.
I know I've read many times that the Saudi royal family used to come to UCH in Ibadan, University College Hospital in Ibadan, in the 70s up until the early mid 80s. So things used to work in Nigeria, and we hope that it works again. Anyway, CM, welcome to the show. So with regards to our president being in London, I know you are not in London yourself, but you're in the UK. Our president is in the UK on a working holiday, working vacation. I mean, I want you to speak on the security implication, even if he's not here for medical, To make it worse, let's say it's medical or just holiday. The security implication that has for our country, I want you to look at it from that prism. The floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. Sure. Good. What is the time? Yeah. Good evening, everybody from UK. Paul, man of prestige. Mr. James, quite an age, and then Paul. Before I speak on that security implication, there's something you people missed. I think you should make a headline news. Probably I didn't come in time. The Senate decided to debate whether Nigeria should go back to regionalism as advocated as a way of restructuring. I'm shocked that some of the senators, particularly Bamidele Okoyemi, he said going back to regionalism will help the Southeast to get their Biafra. Therefore, it's not an option. It's a shame, really, that the way some people reason, forgetting that there is benefit for even the South that their oil has been pillaged for over 50 years now, or close to 50 years now, if I'm not mistaken. There is an opportunity for Goni to clean up their environment because they will not be in control of their resources. It's even an opportunity for anywhere in Nigeria to use their resources. The people of Zamfara can now hold their leaders to account because the gold is theirs. No more going to Abuja monthly to come and collect handout. Rather, state will now be giving money to Abuja to run the essential ministries or the necessary departments. But that will be a debate when we come to that. Now, the security implication of Tinubu coming to London to spend, for whatever it is, of course, it's quite enormous. It shouldn't have been. We all know this. There is quite there is an implication for that. One of which is the fact that when a hospital is treating your president and the South Side, there is every tendency that because doctors hold your medical security, you die. It's a confidential information that no doctor releases the medical information, clinical information of any patient you are treating. Just like in the laboratory, you don't release result. Even if it's your wife may go to a physician to be treated. If you are the person handling the result, you would have under the confidentiality. You can't even release the result to your wife, even when you know it. You may do in confidence, but if she takes it up against you, yes, you are in soup because you have to send the result back to the physician that told you to do it, irrespective of the fact that the patient this time is your wife. So in Tinubu's own case, it's quite enormous. It shouldn't have been because whoever is treating Tinubu, let's say it's even a Nigerian doctor, is treating him in London. That person that hasn't gotten the information can use it to trade off Nigeria. You use it for blackmail, you can use it for anything, and use it to make him compromise. Now imagine that. Imagine the danger that poses, and then I want you to extrapolate it. If it's a white doctor that is treating him, he can reveal it to British government. Let's say it's an Englishman, show it to the British Prime Minister or their people in power, and they use it to call Tinubu to attention, or decide that when next he comes, we can inject him with anything. It might be a debilitating dose of one type of cancerous drug or something that will gradually weaken his immune system. And if he wants to make noise, they say we can do it, but you have to grant us this. So there are a lot of security implications. It's like Nigeria travel to London. As a president, whatever decision you take impacts on your people. Whatever secret you have is the secret of the country, even if it's your personal secret, because it can be used to compromise your country. So in whichever way you look at it, it shouldn't have been. By the way, we have a clinic in Aso Rock that they budget billions and billions every year. What happens to it? I heard Patty Otomi said the other day that 70% of black doctors in US are Nigerians. Why can't you see? Nobody refuses the phone call of a president. Any Nigerian doctor anywhere, no matter the specialty, if Tinubu gives a phone call, say, please, I need you. And can you imagine Nigerian doctors coming to take turn to treat Tinubu in Aso Rock? You know what it means? It's an honor to them. So let us learn some of these, something like diplomatic secrets. It helps a country, but I don't know. Though Tinubu being Tinubu, he has had a criminal career all his life. So you never know what he went to London to do. They may tell you it's medical vacation or something. We're only assuming, but you never know. So given that conjecture, anything is possible. So, but what I know is that a president being treated outside the country, if he's genuine, if it's really the reason he left, is not advisable at all. Let me stop here. Thank you.
Thank you, CM. Mr. James, welcome back. You left and you came back. You're now in a better place. So, as an elder, we come to the elders for wisdom and advice. This might be beyond your pay grade. Don't start shaking your head. We come to elders for advice and counsel. What do you think the Nigerian people can do to discourage our political elite from always running to the UK? I mean, the picture circulated of former President Buhari and former military head of states, Gowon, both in London. So Buhari visited Gowon in his home in London. Tinubu has joined them in London. So 3 present and past presidents of Nigeria, all in London at the same time. How can we discourage these people from always running back to London?
There's absolutely nothing we can do. It's an exercise in futility, looking for a solution to the problem. Because since independence, this is a class of people that have they've been mismanaging the country since independence. They are not showing any sign of repentance. So why wasting our time on trying to reform them? This is how I say it. There's nothing we can do. Let's talk about better things. Absolutely nothing we can do about it.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Mr. James. So if we can't do anything about these guys because they belong to the past, they're on their way out, the people taking over from them, do you think they will follow the same pattern? Are there hands that we cannot see?
Precisely. They're going to follow the same pattern because they're meticulously choosing those who will succeed them. These are not the guys who fought for independence, those in power now. They were chosen by those who fought for independence. And they are now busy meticulously choosing those to take over from them. Now, they are going to London. Is it really on health grounds? I don't think so. Because, before the 2023 elections, you remember, they all went to Chatham House. Chatham House is not a hospital. Or it's a political hospital where they, map out political strategies on how to govern the country in the interest of Britain. So why are they all going to London? Why London? Why some should go to Paris, some should go to Moscow, Australia, what's it called? Japan,
Saudi Arabia.
Exactly. So why London? There's something behind that London which you and me will never see in our lifetime. This is why I still believe that there cannot be a change in the Nigerian system without a terrible revolution. But we should be careful that the revolution will bring about the desired change. So that is just it.
All right. Thank you, Mr. James.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. James. Ovie, on our politics. I know you read a lot. You are the historian. You are the son of Mr. James. And I see that it comes to your show a lot. So I see why you two like, each other's company, because you read a lot. You know about history, American history, and all these things. So American politicians, where do they run to when they go on holiday? Mr. James said there's no hope. We can't stop these guys. How do you think we can start to walk it back? It might not be overnight. What can we do to change these things? Or should we just give up?
Wow, an loaded question. Where do American presidents go for vacation? And immediately, that your famous rant that they always play at the beginning of the show came to mind, right? When you have a clean doctor who knows who is the best and the one they say na quack, then you can't go to other person. That's your analogy. Like, just apply it there. How you go expect me person live where everything is start from, the origin of technology, whatever, make him go away for vacation? But that's not just by the side. I think by now, by this 2024 election, you go know the American election. Now do or die. Anything goes, everything goes. right? So for security reason, you won't go on vacation at your own parade. So you won't come out for the country because where's the better place for you to be protected if not be America? Unless you are going on an official trip whereby the whole world now go with you. You are going on vacation at your own risk. So that's the reason every of their vacation they stay in America. Barack Obama will go back to his country site, Vineyard. George Bush go to somewhere crawfish somewhere in Texas in family ranch. So even at that, because it's a very partisan country, anything you do can be used against you. That's the mouth of what we always talk. Anything you do also will be used against you. So even if you sneeze, the opposition party will find something wrong and good with it. They will run away with it. Remember when Barack Obama wear cotton suits? I don't know if you still remember, and it was a big deal. As you say now, so those people they look at all those things before they actually go outside their country for vacation. Now nobody they try them. So that's that one. Then the second question is that can we reverse it? How do we reverse? I mean, I don't know at this point either we are deceiving ourselves or because I mean you don't need to go smoke like me to tell you that to tell you say we are not free. If you don't want to accept that you are not free, well, your freedom was negotiated. So the question you should be asking, what are the terms of negotiation? Do you know where is the part of agreement that every Nigerian president must come and vacate for our house? Me, I no call on vacation. You have to go and submit report card. Everybody, they always carry Godfather, Godfather. Even now, Shomole now, they say now Godfather, Godfather. The man has decided to go to the Godfather. Now our Godfather be breathing, whether you want agree or not. So, what are the terms of agreement? Since we are no hungry, so we are never had it free. What are the terms of agreement? What would they produce? If I want to use again your analogy, show here. Country will not produce two peak. If you want to go take care of your things like my own, we don't spoil it. Now Nigeria, you go there. Unless you cannot afford it. If you can afford it, you go and meet people like if you were the Atlanta, working at the finest medical center you can think of. So now common sense. So I don't know what is wrong with us. We just want to actually talk or we don't want to ask the right question. So what are the terms of negotiation? And again, if you're a Nigerian president, where be your threats? You are more at threat at home than in Britain. Because if there's anybody that is capable of taking out of power, and I see them outside, Nigeria not fit take you out of power. We the people are not organized enough. The regional power blocks and individual power blocks, everybody is on everybody don't fall for the throne for the king already. So you are better go that place and just go and relax and go and submit whatever. So we should ask the right question. What are the terms of negotiation? I think it's that time we start asking. Because the fact that our economy is 100% run by foreigners, everything, every aspect of our life is run by foreigners. It's not by coincidence. It's not because now we are incompetent or we are stupid. Something is wrong somewhere. There are some agreements that were reached that are unknown to us, but unknown to these men. Okay. Mr. Jim clearly said it. Why do we always go to Chatham House? It doesn't make sense.
Right.
But we are not asking. So it's not about when we go there free, when we go there. No, when we can reverse it. We are not free people.
Okay.
Our churches, just the way we live, tells you that we are a conquered people. So until we decide to free ourselves, either from our local enslavers or the foreign enslavers, we are not going anywhere.
All right. Thank you, Ovie. Thank you. AY, I'll pass the mic to you now. So Ovie has said that, to echo what Mr. Jim said, our umbilical cord is tied to London for whatever reason, known to some, unknown to some. So how do you think we start to work this? Because, a lot of times we're accused of not being proactive, not taking actions. It's just a talk shop. So let's even say now we figured out what the problem is. For some of us, we've just only found out. How do we work this back? And also, in terms of funding this, which is, probably not important to a lot of people, the Nigerian people are paying for this. Do they deserve the full transparency?
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. Yeah. I want to quickly align with what Mr. James said. The thing is, let me say this, right? Our leaders, first of all, they are working for themselves. they are not working for the people. The only way we can make changes to this, except we give the power to the people. Currently, they don't really care. They don't really care. They're making laws. They're going to look at themselves. So you protect the governors, for example, the president, and say they have immunity. This immunity, there is no restriction. Kind of like they can do whatever they want. Nothing can happen to them. Even if I have evidence, for example, a governor stole, say, $10 billion, or evidence sitting with us right now, there is nothing you can do to the governor. Even the president, the Senate. So basically, there is no check and balances. The governor take over the House of Assembly. They do what they want with them. The president take over the Senate, the rep. They do whatever they want with them. This is the system. So in summary, even when we bring our so-called not corrupt or politicians that we think, just how we used to take President Buhari was a saint that is going to change the system overnight. No, one man cannot change the system. We have to have laws, that everybody will be subjected to. Even if you are the president, you are the minister, you are the common man, you are the market woman. We don't have all these. As regards this international, this unholy marriage between Nigeria or Africa and the so-called slave masters.
No.
Yes.
Don't let forefathers to rip you apart. We don't say slave masters, colonial masters on this show.
Yeah, I get it. So that was why I said the so-called. That's why I said the so-called. So the truth is there. The problem is our politicians, first of all, they don't even understand these issues. Their interest is to grab power. So it's more like you want to rock with the devil, whatever they tell you to do, you just go ahead without thinking. All you're interested in is to grab the power. So the problem are there. The politicians, they don't even understand it. Just like we used to argue here, like even geopolitics, they don't understand it. So I get really crazy, fed up. Like, how come somebody that want to lead a country like Nigeria, the most populous African country in the world, you don't understand geopolitics, you don't understand the issues? I mean, there is a way you can walk along line and try to protect your people, and try to tell them, no, this one is not going area. Try to, walk around and play these politics. But they don't, unfortunately, they don't. What they do is, they just see that they tell you, oh, lock the door, you lock it. Open the door, you open the door. How can you be a leader? Even as a man, as the head of family, you can't allow somebody to operate your house in that manner. Talk less of operating 200 million plus people. It's unacceptable, deeply unacceptable. The other thing is, these leaders, they are not willing to pay the sacrifice. If you are a leader, to be honest, at some point, if your life has to go for it, you have to be ready. That's what makes a leader. You got to be tough to a point that even if you have to go for your country to survive, let it be. So they need to wake up. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, AY. Just to let the viewers know, we have a new structure where every show is going to be for 3 hours maximum. We try not to go past 3 hours. There will be another show immediately after this. So this is Dr. Odumeje's show, but he's had to leave due to an emergency. Forefathers will be doing the next show, but he might have to carry on with this one because I didn't even plan to be here, except Forefathers, except you're not able to carry on. I'll just finish this topic. The next topic is the election going on in Rivers State, the implication, local government autonomy. Is it fake? Is it audio? What's happened between INEC and Rivers State, INEC and courts in Abuja and Rivers State. So that's the next topic. And the next one is the church business that we're going to talk about. But before I check with Forefathers if it's available, let me go to the flagship. So the flagship, I want to ask you now, there are some people who are against the Japa syndrome, and I'm not for it as well. Sounds hypocritical because I'm in the UK myself, but in order to encourage our people maybe to stay back home, and for some of us to actually go back and support in rescuing Nigeria if we can, don't you think that we have our work cut out for us if we have 3 presidents, some past, one present, in London? That is the biggest advert for Japa you can ever think of. The one that is currently running the country is in London. The 2 that have retired cannot even retire and stay in Nigeria. So how do you, how do you marry this? That some of us are trying to say, let's stay home and fix Nigeria, or let some of us even go back and help rescue the country, whereas the biggest names in Nigeria can't even stay in Nigeria.
Well, thank you, Sho, and good afternoon to everybody on the panel and the viewers. It's a case of living what you preach. If 3 leaders, 2 past leaders and 1 current, and let's not mention the number of senators or reps that are over there now that we don't know of, they are all there chilling in their homes. How do you explain that to the average Nigerian who is facing the tough terrain and conditions that are in Nigeria, and you're asking them not to leave or to be patient or to bear, but you are out there abroad where you have 24 hours power supply, water, and everything that you need to live a good life? It makes no sense. So if you say stay back home, help to improve Nigeria, that's hogwash in the ears of the average Nigerian. There's a lot that is cut out for fixing Nigeria as it is. And allow me to mention that the reason why it is so hard and so tough to get anything done is because we are looking for one leader. And when we find that one, we tend to make that leader Alpha and Omega, when we're supposed to have multiple of such leaders. And I use the example, how many Obis do we have in Nigeria? Why do we have just one Peter Obi? Why has he not tried to raise many more Peter Obis after himself? Because if he's doing it by himself, the work will be hard. We really can achieve nothing. If I take a hammer and I'm hitting on a wall by myself, a hard concrete wall by myself, it will take me forever to break that wall down. But if I give the same kind of hammer to 100 other people to join me and hit the same wall, we'll knock it down in no time. So fixing Nigeria cannot be done by one person. If we identify one leader, that one leader should, as a matter of urgency, breed and raise many more other leaders like himself so that the work can continue. Our leaders are abroad. You and I, we are abroad. We are enjoying the good things that are here in these nations. And we are telling our people not to come and get a taste of what we're enjoying. It's not going to make any sense for them. I think that until we all decide to go take the bull by the horn and confront what has been confronting us, we will go nowhere. And no matter what anybody says, it's not going to stop the next person in Nigeria that is standing in line, waiting at the embassy to get a visa to run away from that country, or that is seeking to walk through Niger Republic, through the desert to run away from that land to do so. So I think that the best way to do this, as hard as it may seem, is an outright confrontation of those that are holding on to power. And I'll end with this. Did you all watch, and I'm sure you all did, the House committee that was set up to look into this Bobrisky issue that is going on back home? Did you listen to the reps that were asking questions, the so-called investigative panel that they set up? Did you hear the line of questioning? How did you feel? Did you feel good that these are people who really should be there? In my opinion, it's a sorry state. We're in a deep, deep trouble. We have a lot of people sitting at the helm of affairs who really don't have a clue about why they are there. Who are the people writing our policies? Who are the people putting it together, and where is it being put together? Is it being done by our people who are there on the ground, who knows how it feels and what needs to be done to put the right policies together that we both help the people and help the nation? Or these policies are written by the folks in the West? And again, what is this strange relationship between the UK and France and Nigeria? I've not seen them go to Germany, Switzerland, or somewhere else, the US, to spend time as much as they do between these two countries. And I agree with the previous speakers. We are not free. Our freedom is very, very conditional. And we need to find out what those conditions are and either begin to renegotiate them or outrightly confront them until they go away.
Right. Thank you, Flagship. That was a lot. Well, thank you. Revolution. I mean, with your name, I already know where you stand. But I will still come to you nonetheless. President Tinubu is in London on a 2-week working vacation, working holiday. He deserves his holiday. We can't deprive him of that. You know, everyone deserves their vacation. But what's your take on this obsession with London? Some people have said, you know, we're tied to the UK. Nigeria is a business. Nigeria is a company run by the UK. What's your take on it?
Yeah, good evening or good morning to everybody. Let me start by saying, Nigeria, we are free. Those of us who live in that illusion that we are not free, we are just sleeping because we refuse to take the bull by the horn. We are free. We are an independent country. The problem is our character. We are living our own character. You people are saying Tinubu is having a holiday in UK, this and that. All of us, we are living in somewhere in UK or America. So we are all the same. The country is not good. You understand? They move to UK where there is good life. And don't forget, these people are not voted by the people. They brought themselves in. So we have to make some clearance there so that we know where we stand. Nigeria is a free country, but the idea, the system of a typical Nigerian is different. So when these so-called leaders that we mentioned leaders, they are not leaders. Tinubu didn't get to power. Gowon did not get to power by the Nigerian people. He came through the bullet or through the gun. Buhari, all of them, Tinubu brought in Buhari. So you have to, let us make that clear. They are not our leaders at all. There's a system, a cult that has taken over Nigeria. So whatever they do it on their own. They are not representing a poor guy in Nigeria or a poor woman in Nigeria suffering. They have that system. So the system is Nigeria is fucked up, go abroad. Everybody is trying to escape. I escaped. Thank God I did escape from that country because I couldn't stay there. So when we say Tinubu, they live, or people are saying that, I mean, the depiction of the name I carry have said everything. We need to fight for the freedom to be free from ourselves. You understand? There are so many African leaders who stay in their countries. But we Nigerians, we go when anything, oh, UK is the best, and that people move over to UK or America where life is easier, instead of staying home to fight for our freedom. Somebody is mentioning Obi. Obi is no more a leader in Nigeria because a leader must be ready to die, like AY said. But this man refused to struggle to the end. Showore is the only one ready to die for Nigeria. How many people are supporting Showore today? Some people say Showore is working for Tinubu. They try to, the Igbo say, oh, we will not protest because when the Igbo protest now, they will say that they will attack the Igbos. We find solutions or reasons to keep dividing ourselves. And a divided house is a defeated house. And the more we are divided, the more these criminals stay in power. So talking about Tinubu, Gowon, Buhari enjoying themselves in London, it's not a big deal like Mr. James said. We shouldn't be talking about this. It's the system. It's how the system is. Until that system is broken down by revolution of any sort. Most people, when you talk about revolution, they are scared because they think they will destroy their properties. Okay, we say, let's adopt the IPOB system. Sit at home. Let us manage. They will still tell you, when you sit at home, how are we going to feed? Because some people are living from hand to mouth. So now that opens the debate. So how are we going to rescue ourselves now? Let me just stop there for a minute, man. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Revolution, or Dan, as I prefer to call you. Forefathers, I'm going to come to you now. I would like you to respond to this from the angle of security implications, regardless if it's a holiday or if it's for medical tourism. Regardless, our leaders, if you can call them that, coming to this part of the world, speak to this.
Yeah, thank you for having me on the show, and greetings to everyone on the panel and to the chat and viewers. You know how parents in Nigeria, tell their children not to eat food in even family members' houses, but somehow we let our leaders to go overseas and open their belly and head and everything for foreigners. And that awareness that we lack is at the core of our problem. In a world where even pagers are not safe from explosives, and we still don't understand that these things are not safe. It's not safe for us. It's very, very dangerous. And we have to keep talking about this and making them know that we know what they are doing, and letting them know that we don't support what they are doing. And also, if your leaders are doing these things, the Nigerian voters need to also understand that don't vote them. That is a bad sign. It's a signal that they are against you. If you are living in a family and you know an enemy, a potential enemy overseas, and your leaders, your people from that family keep going to that rival family all the time and coming back, what makes you think that that person is going to come back and help your family? They're going to come and do you down. And that's what has been happening. They've been demonstrating that they are not governing for us. The people that are governing for, they visit them all the time there. And it's a shame, because when you are in power, it's a slippery slope trying to get them down in a kind of reforming manner, in a kind of peaceful manner. In the Nigerian space, I think somebody said something about why is there no more P2B out there? It's a problem because we don't see enough of people like that. It's only basically now people are just looking at P2B and Shore, that's all. And that is not enough. We need a lot more of them, and we in the diaspora probably have a duty to create more of them, because we have some responsibility here. We have an element of security, we have an element of resources that we have, and we have an element of know-how that we can use to help the people in Nigeria, because they don't necessarily know. And we have to find a way to do it, because in the end, you still need resources. And this is the problem. We all have discussed solutions here. The security challenge that this involves is so great that it doesn't even, you shouldn't have to talk about it. It's obvious. Even America, they kind of spy on Germany all the time. They spy on each other. They are allies, though. Not to mention these ones that have colonized us and enslaved us, and our leaders just go there and live there. Sometimes when they say they want to go there and rest, what is wrong with Nigeria? What is wrong with African continent? If you do your vacation in Nigeria, you are promoting that Nigerian vacation resort or location. You are promoting it. These people don't want to promote us. They buy everything is foreign, and we ourselves, sometimes we don't even realize that we also perpetuate the same thing. And I think we have to search ourselves. I'm one of them, because I'm advertising myself here. I'm overseas now, aren't I? So we are all part of the whole this thing, and we have to start turning the tide. For me, the context you have to discuss with the Nigerians is that you have to start telling them what they need to know. Like, if you see your leader traveling overseas like that, don't trust them. Don't trust them. If you see that they are only going to London and France and America, don't trust that leader. Don't ever trust that leader to root for you. And make sure you are asking them precisely what they are doing every time with your resources. If you want to make demands, make specific demands. Because for better or for worse, President Tinubu said it in his speech. He said he's very, very open to dialogue. These protests that we keep getting, we don't have specific demands. For the life of me, I don't know how these people that organize the protests get away with it. How can you not ask that your security forces need to improve so that Nigeria doesn't lose $50 billion? How can you not ask that all the refineries need to come on stream as a requirement? How can you not ask that electricity needs to be fixed as a requirement? Focus on one, solve one. Any one of these things will improve the lot of Nigerians significantly, but they wouldn't even do that. But this is what we are dealing with here. If you allow your people to go overseas as holidays and you think it's all right and you don't do anything about it, okay, let's say you don't even think it's all right, but you don't do anything about it, they will carry on doing it. The next person will come and do the same thing. Sooner or later, we have to start looking at leaders that do these things, condemn them. Whenever they come back, we complain about it. Whenever they are running for election, we make this as a requirement. Ask them, are you one of those people that is going to be going overseas for treatment all the time? If you are going to be going, no, don't bother. Don't bother running. Don't give them your vote. And if you ask leaders whether they are going to get treatment in Nigeria, they hedge their bets. They say, maybe. No. Make that a standard. You have to have standards as citizens. And we too have to let Nigerians know that they have to have standards. If you don't have standards, they will elect anybody. I will leave it at that. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for furthers. Well said. I know it's something you're quite passionate about, and that's why I came to you last. I'm hoping that our people are listening. Okay, Paul is still on the call. Okay, so we're going to move quickly to the Rivers State elections. Most of you are familiar with what's going on. I'll try and find the video and play it again. Dr. Damages played it earlier. But Rivers State, there's a local government election happening. And I want us to look at it, not just from Rivers State. We'll discuss the local politics of Rivers State, but in terms of the autonomy we're trying to get for our local government, we all agree that they should have autonomy. But where you have a sitting governor, decide who is going to be local government chairman or chairwoman, if that's a thing. It happened in Anambra State. It was all ABGA. Any PDP state, it will be swept by PDP. Where is the autonomy in that? Because the same is going to happen now, most likely in Rivers State, where you have the governor who is a PDP governor, but he's moved people to APP, and APP are going to sweep all the local government, and the implication for Wike as well. So we'll talk on all of that. Let me see if I can find the video that Dr. Odumeje shared earlier. Okay. So, that was just a short video of the governor of Rivers State, Sam Fubara, going to INEC office to, all these dramas. You followed it. So I would start with, let me see, is there anybody here that I need to bring in? Okay. Man of Prestige seems to have left us. Sam, so I'll come to you. We've seen what's happened in Rivers State, or what is, Man of Prestige, you're back. So we've seen what's going on in Rivers State with regards to the election. Different factions are getting different court treatment. Where one court is saying the election must go ahead, another court is saying the election should go ahead. Okay. Right. So, Man of President, I want you to speak, on this from the angle of our judges, our court. We, when one court is saying the election should go ahead and another court is saying election should not go ahead, what do you say?
Yeah, it's very concerning when it comes to our judiciary. It seems like we have a very competing narrative coming from Nigeria. I don't really know which one adjudicate what, that election. Is that from the federal angle and the state?
So the federal court is saying that no election should take place because they are pro Wike and all of that, allegedly. And you have the state court saying the election should go ahead because they are with the current governor, Sam Fubara.
Oh man, it's very concerning. I mean, which one is the right one? Which one is he supposed to obey? But let me start from my understanding about what's going on in Rivers State, because I was listening to some lawyers. They were saying about the way the way authority is being in regard to this kind of stuff. I think somebody said in reference to the police or something like that, whenever they give order, the police has to take order from Even the IG has not too much authority. They have to take order from the federal area, which is Aso Rock. Then he said that even the governor has the same right too. And he can say, well, whether he wants the police or he doesn't want the police. So that's the triangle we find in Nigeria. I mean, nothing is straightforward. Anyway, because he put the constitution. I think he said, I think the constitution he put is section 5.3 subsection 5. Right. That's the constitution that he put it. Whereby the hierarchy of authority, who is supposed to obey. But what I saw in River State yesterday was very concerning. I saw that the federal government sent the police from Igbo, which is the federal government, to come and stop the election. Then I saw Fubara walking with a large group of people, the supporters. I mean, I don't know how many thousand, there. So they march. I don't know. I should have sent the video. They march to the different polls and said the police should leave. The federal police should leave. And the man, I've never seen Fubara that has spoken like that. I mean, he shows too much authority, And the police, they leave. They left, whether they went back to the Imo or Abuja or whatever, whomever sent them. Of course, we know what happened. That was sent by Wike, and the federal apparatus. So we don't really know who is in charge in reference to that. But as of today, what I'm hearing, they left and they came back again. Because what I'm understanding, the election has been very peaceful. But the police came back again today. They even cut out some of the ballot box. I have not seen the video, but according to the news that I read this morning when I first woke up, So the problem is that whenever there's an election, APC, PDP, and the police, it's always problem. Because the election, I think, it's been organized by the state, security, so it has been peaceful. It's only when the PDP, the APC come in and the police, you see, there's a problem. This is the problem we have in Nigeria. And one more thing, one of the lawyers was speaking, the genesis of this problem where we have right now. I've not, because he has a document to prove what he was saying. He said there was an arrangement, between Fubara and Wike. And Wike is supposed to be getting about 30% of the River State derivation. I thought it was about 10% or less that. So they have an agreement earlier. So none of them is clean. So let's call it what is. Call it what it is.
Okay.
Fubara is as guilty as Wike, but Wike has no authority to be doing whatever he's doing. Fubara is the governor right now. We know how he came into power. According to what I heard, Wike bought about 14. I think it was about 14 people that was supposed to contest for it, but he asked them to step down. That Fubara is the one that is going to be, is going to be the governor. Of course, whether the election was ring or whatever, we know what transpired in River State. Now, the problem I'm having, I'm very much
30 seconds, please.
The people in River State are the one that is being hostage. It has nothing to do with the River people. Whatever agreement they have, we can have with Fubara, it doesn't concern the people. Up to about a year and a half right now, no policy has been implemented in Port Harcourt. The people are suffering.
Okay.
So where do we go from here? I don't know. Just go ahead.
Thank you, man of prestige. Thank you. CM, I'll come to you. Welcome back to Damages. So CM, I'll come to you quickly. Are we creating another monster in Governor Fubara? Because I can see a lot of people on his side, because the enemy of my enemy is my friend. So because he's against Wike, a lot of people are supporting him, dismantle the structure Wike, or claim the structure Wike, craves so much, take it away from him. So he has no bargaining chip. When he goes to speak to Tinubu for 2027, it becomes useless because he will have lost the structure in Port Harcourt. But in doing this, do you fear that we might be or not we, but that, we might have another Wike on our hands? Because the way Fubara was bullish yesterday, the way he was speaking, it almost seems like a Wike 2.0.
Okay. The simple, straightforward answer. I hope I'm coming out clearly. Somebody should mute, please. I don't know.
Man of Prestige.
They did not provide security.
Man of Prestige.
Only when
Oh,
security.
don't worry, don't worry. I'll sort it.
Okay. Okay. So the simple, straightforward answer to this is that we are not creating a monster or whatever it is in a Fubara. Rather, Fubara is being made a victim of the circumstances or the power that Wike is claiming. Let's just get the facts straight. There's a proclamation or a provision that any state without elected local government at the end of this month will never get federal funding.
From the 15th
That was
of
what?
October.
Oh, is it 50? Okay, I thought it's
15th of
31st.
October.
Okay. Okay, 15th. So what that means is for those that are saying PDP and Wike that are saying it should be postponed. Postponed to what? What reason do they have to postpone it? This is the deadline. If by 15th, any state without elected local government, there's no more direct funding. In other words, 23 local government of Rivers State will not get anything again from federal government until they're elected, and it should be punishment. So what are they waiting for? Why can't they be elected? By the way, is that not an affront on the integrity of the governance of Rivers State that Wike will be in Abuja dictating what will happen? I followed an interview given by one of the elders from Rivers State. He said, Ada George has structure. He finished and left. What is the name? Peter Odele had what they call structure. He finished and left. Amechi, the same thing. Who is talking of? Who is Wike to? What structure of what? It is the law that in PDP, the sitting governor in any PDP state is the head of the party. Wike had his chance. So why should you now be in Abuja and dictating? The parallel primaries they held that time, the last time Wike came, from Abuja to come and say he will be able to do. I mean, you see, to be honest with you, Fubara is even in fact, he's too lenient. If I'm to be in Fubara's shoes, I know the gods are wise. Wike should, anyway, Wike knows. Our people said, you look at, that's what they call Okwe. Okwe is like a tree. You can go and suspend yam on the tree. You look at how fit the tree is before you attach a tuber of yam to it. Wike has just looked at Fubara as Akamu case, just Akamu. Then I can ride him. If he's somebody like me, anyway, he won't even choose me as he won't even support me being a governor. Because I won't look, by the way, when Wike was the governor, can Wike tolerate 0.001% of what is given to Fubara? Fubara is the people's choice, and everybody rallied around him. By the way, why should police appear there? When the Inspector General of Police said that they are not going to provide security, and they found that there was no police in the morning for accreditation, people were behaving themselves. Now, for them to come and give Fubara a bad name, late in the day, they now come to cut away. When the police said they are not going to they're going to make their presence felt, and true to type, they didn't in the morning. Things we are working for, people are now reporting that, oh, we don't even need police to conduct the election. All of a sudden, they surface and be carried. You see what in fact, if there's anything, I blame Fubara for being so livered that Wike should be dictating. Even when he's in Abuja, I could have I raise my own. If I'm Fubara, what is the money for? I raise it and I make sure that Wike win it. Anyway, let me not. Let me.
Thank you, sir. I can see.
The word is
you really want to
show.
You want to show Wike Pepe. It's okay. Dr. Damages, welcome back. I'll just ask this question of Mr. James, and I will then hand over to you. So, Mr. James, I've only listened to what the other panelists have said. I've also followed this election keenly for whatever reason. I've also heard that there are some people in the PDP Wike faction that have already gone to court to get an order, right, to stop the federal government from releasing funds to River State, because we're now saying that we don't want caretaker government in terms of local government. Every local government must have elected chairman and all of that. So already some people are going to court. The election has not even ended. People are going to court. So it looks like another election cycle that is going to end up being decided in the courtrooms and not at the polling booths, which has become a pattern in Nigeria. We just waste money, spend money on election, get security, kill people in the process, and end up going to court for the judges to decide. Now, we have a new CJN, Justice Kudirat Kekereekun, infamous for a role in the Hope Uzodinma from number 4 to number 1. Do you think it is time for people to start looking at the judiciary as well? Because what would happen is, or what I'm preempting is, this will end up in court. Judges, lawyers will go and present their cases and make money along the way, and the winners will be decided by the judges. And in the process, there'll be, I'm looking at the knock-on effect. There'll be so many cases that judges will not have time to decide on, because these election cases will be everything that they will focus on. So do you think it is time we start looking at our judiciary? Because most of the time we talk about the executive, we talk about the legislature, but our judiciary, is it time we start looking at them?
You see, all along, we've been looking up to the judiciary to come to our rescue. So many cases have gone to court. Contradictory judgments are passed all over the country. So for how long should we, as a people, keep on looking up to a judiciary that is morally barren and bankrupt, a judiciary that is homogeneously corrupt? The judicial system in Nigeria is homogeneously corrupt, from magistrate court right up to Supreme Court level. There's nobody you can trust. So that is the situation. Now, it is necessary, absolutely necessary, for the entire system to collapse. The entire system should collapse. This is why I support those who are calling for a revolution. We need to collapse the entire system and come up with a new dispensation. A situation whereby an inspector general of police will be supporting the party in government in the matter of elections. If the police is not willing, I mean, it's very funny to even comprehend, because the laughable thing is that in Rivers State, they've been able to prove that we can even do without the police. They conducted an election without police protection. So why have we been looking up to the police all along to provide security when the people themselves can do it? But how sustainable will be if the people happen to take up that responsibility? That is another matter, because in Rivers State right now, there's a peculiar situation there. That is why the people are behaving, should I say, properly, in quote. Now, as for the Chief Justice, or so-called Chief Justice they just appointed, the Beninese have a saying that that is, it is snakes that give birth to snakes. It is the system she has been part of that produced her as a Chief Justice. In Hope Uzodinma's case.
Hope
Uzodinma's case. She was part of those who made that man the governor of Imo State. So what are we talking about? Why are we expecting so much from her if they committed such horrendous wrong against a section of the country? So I think the earlier we start calling a spade, the better it is. This system cannot take us to anywhere. It's only serving the interest of Britain, United States, and Western countries. This present system we are running. If you ask the British government today, how is the political dispensation in Nigeria? They will tell you it's a shining example of democracy. Is it the largest democracy in Africa? That is from their own perspective. Because their businessmen and those that matters in the UK, they're getting exactly what they want from the Nigerian system. But if you ask other countries that are not benefiting, they will tell you, no, the system is not working. So it is up to us to make up our mind on what we want. But Britain will take us nowhere. This is how I see it.
All right. Thank you, Mr. James. Wonderful submission as always. Quick announcement. From the 1st of January, whichever happens first, if I don't know what day 1st of January is, 2025, you won't find us at this address anymore. We are moving. We have a new house that we've not been staying in. So that new house is Iroko Post TV. So if you come here, Dr. Damages on YouTube from the 1st of January or the first weekend in January, you won't find us here. This Dr. Damage's channel will be used for the satire. You know where he has, Dr. Damages has his stethoscope with the hammer and where he's breaking things. You would find that here. You will find the AI, Dr. Damages, all of that will be for this channel. On Iroko Post TV, we'll have your say 247. We'll have our guest 90-Minute Africa on Sundays. So just letting you know, we'll be announcing this for the rest of the year. But from January, we're moving to a new address. Also, we have 286 people watching. Please click on the like, click on the thumbs up. That was just, recommend this show to other people. Also share it to yourself. Click on the link, share it to your people. They might not necessarily agree with what we're doing or what we're saying, but eventually we'll win some of them over. And even if they don't like us, let's be like a car crash. You watch it not because you enjoy it, but you can't look away. So just recommend us regardless of what people think of what we're doing. AY, I want you to put your futuristic glasses on. APP already, there are some people in APP already saying, these people that Fubara brought from PDP and is imposed on us as the candidate, where have they come from? We already existed in APP before they came. Do you see a repeat of what happened in Labour Party where, the powers that be will infiltrate APP and use the people from within APP to cause trouble for Fubara and his crew?
Yeah, the drama going on in Rivers State, I don't really know how to describe it. The summary of the whole matter, I think somehow we are part of the problem. Just like you rightly said, it's more like the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Both Wike and Fubara, I'm not supporting either of them. The reason is that both of them are currently, they are actually on the rock path. Wike, yes, I would say Wike is the biggest problem in Rivers currently because, again, this power is not with the people. So Wike, because he has some federal backing, is just trying to destabilize the governor. On the local government election, just like somebody before, just like what somebody said, right? I forgot who said it. Like, you were a governor of a state. After 4 years, whatever, after 8 years maximum, you have to leave. So when you leave, according to the PDP party constitution, the governor is actually the leader of the party. That doesn't mean the governor cannot go wrong. Again, on the local government election, the local government autonomy is a very beautiful name, but do they really have the autonomy? That's the question. Even currently with the Supreme Court ruling, the governor, they're still looking for a way to have full control of the local government. It is not acceptable. From 1999 to date, I will tell you with not no missing words, all the governor, they've done what they want with the local government. Like in terms of they don't allow them to function as independent body. This is what is going on. That is why when you go to APC state, all the local government chairmen, they are from APC. You go to PDP, all the local government chairmen are from PDP. Even when you go to Labour, let's wait for Mr. Oti to conduct local government election. This is what is actually going on. So what that means, when you support any of them, I mean, you are on the rock path as well, because what they do, they don't even conduct election because the state government have control of the state electoral body. They just write results. That's it. In fact, they look for people they want to be in power. That is it. That is exactly what Fubara is repeating in Rivers State. So what that means, even if I'm not from Rivers, Fubara said, hey, you will be the next local government. Nobody can change it. He will just write the name and announce. So I'm not gonna support any of them. It's just sad. This is where we have. But the system, just like I think Mr. James said, the system cannot move forward. Something have to change. When it comes to change, like CM said earlier this morning, what was going on in the House of Rep. this discussion, they need to have it. The problem is, they don't work for the people. They work for themselves. If they really work for the people, they should be able to look at the system and be objective and think of what will work for the people. Regionalize the country. We are not saying divide the country. Regionalize the country. Let each region progress at its own pace. Let them be healthy competition. That is one thing I feel that will help the country. When you regionalize the country, it will cease place as it is today based on geopolitical zone. That might be the biggest gain of the country. So what you have is you have 6 leaders in these regions. You are now restricted to a geographical area. You might be able to look at it more and said, okay, this is what we need to do. When one region is able to give its people electricity, the other region should look at what they did and work with them to get electricity for your people. If one region is able to build out the road networks, the other region should look at them. Hospital, the same thing. So we need to bring in this competition and kind of like reduce the power and the central. I think this is just the right way to go, because what you have, either you like it or not, we have a kind of a monarch democracy where the president can decide whatever he wants, where the governors can decide whatever they want in state. This is what is going on. If you don't understand this, I'm sorry, but we can't move forward. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, AY. Dr. Damages, I'm going to hand over to you now. So it's flagship next. I'm not sure what question you have for flagship. Flagship, revolution, forefathers, then OVA. On this river state, then we can move on to the church business for the third and final hour.
All right. Thank you so much, Sho, for jumping in when I had something to take care of.
This is an example for Tinubu and Shetima. See, somebody left, hand over power.
Yeah, hand over power.
This is very easy. There's no trust.
Even when you were not aware that you were getting power, at least Shetima is aware that he's.
What is the budget of the platform? Let's wait until budget is $1 million first. We'll see where this transaction will be smooth.
Thank you so much, everyone. I understand. I don't know how far you've discussed, but let me come to you, flagship. Do you know what's going on currently in River State? I know that there were people protesting. How did the election go?
I haven't followed up this morning since I woke up, but from yesterday, what I found out or got from the news was when Fubara was informed that I think at this time we shouldn't deceive ourselves. Wike sent some policemen to go to River State to the office of INEC and cut away the voters register and every other election equipment or documents that they would need for today's election. And Fubara had to summon a group of folks to follow him and go to stop them. That was the most that I got yesterday. But as far as is going on today, I haven't really checked in with the news to see where they are, how the election is going on. But in summary, this is what I see. You know, it's unfortunate that the politicians in our nation has dragged our judiciary into this mess. And the question that is being asked, local government autonomy, I don't think we should even look as way down there to explain if the local governments are autonomous. Take a look at the judiciary, take a look at the police, take a look at the legislature and the executive. There is no autonomy anywhere. These people are just at the beck and call of the politicians, and that they could independently drag them whichever way they want. Any politician can just put a phone call to the IG and say, send your boys down there to go and do XYZ for me. And the IG would oblige and send policemen to go there and cause havoc against the people that they are meant to protect and to serve. So River State, as it is right now, is going through a tussle between two people who signed an agreement initially. And it beats my imagination to see that a governor that has served and left would want to lay hold of 10% of the state's resources or income, revenue, whatever it's called. That just I can't seem to put my mind through it. So if Fubara entered into that agreement with him, and Wike thought he was a boy that he could push around, I think this is a clear case of pushing a goat to the wall, thinking that it won't bite. And here comes the goat charging back at you and eventually bite you. Then you will know that the teeth of the goat is real sharp and could tear your skin. That's what is going on now. That's why Fubara is doing what he's doing and charging back. Is he trying to correct the anomaly that's going on or put in place by Wike in Rivers State? We don't know. Did he at some point wake up to think that this agreement between himself and Wike would not do well for the people of Rivers State? We can't tell. Is it that they've found out that Wike is doing this in support of Tinubu for 2027, and as a result want to replicate what Tinubu did in Lagos, in Rivers State for 2027, and hoping that if he gains control, absolute control of Rivers State, he could do what Tinubu did in Lagos and thereafter make himself president come 2031 and on. Whatever the goal is, I think that there's a pushback that is going on in Rivers State right now. And the strategies that Fubara is using, I hope he's able to manage it well. We need this kind of pushback against those that think they have the country in their pockets and that they can run it any which way they can. If Fubara succeeds in this, it may start the revolution that we are talking about today. If it succeeds in breaking Wike down, and whatever strategy or plans that he's made for himself and for Tinubu, if Fubara succeeds in this, other states might begin to take after him and hopefully restructure their state and get Nigeria in the direction that it needs to go. My hope, lastly, is that Fubara succeeds. If he moves all these local government folks to APP where he wants them to contest and they win, I pray that he manages it properly so that Labour Party's saga or case that happened does not repeat itself in Rivers State. So we'll keep our fingers crossed until we get what the updates are from Rivers State as far as the local government elections are concerned.
All right, thank you, the flagship. Revolution, welcome. Flagship was talking about revolution. I wanted to find out from you, what do you think would be conditions, and when do you think is even possible that we could have local government autonomy, full autonomy, the way we are thinking it should be?
Yeah, Mr. Damage, it's a long time.
I know.
Yeah, okay. So the problem of Rivers State is the same problem we are facing in Nigeria. Impunity, Now my turn, all those type of things. Now we they control. These are common languages you will find from many Nigerians, whether the ordinary people or the people in power. That's why that caption revolution is always there. We have to fight. We have to change the system. There's no other way. They've asked us to go to election so that the real people, the people who can take care of situation, people who are educated enough to run things will come in, the proper people. But when it is that level now, they go change everything again. They will come in with their strength and power, and we cannot do nothing. What is happening in Rivers State, for example? Our brother will say you can put fire anywhere. He's putting fire in Rivers State. Nobody, he believes he have gotten so much power in that country that nobody else can do anything. Autonomy of the local government you are talking about, how is it possible when we know that the governors are the owners of the state, including everybody, even animals in that state, they own it? So what are we going to do? There's nothing we can do other than what Fubara is doing. To say, when we believe it's my turn, it's now my turn. I will fight tooth and nail to stay there. This man's turn is over. There's nothing. We have to start that revolution. Flagship was trying to say, maybe it will start from here. We have to fight so that these so-called godfathers or people who think they've captured the whole country or the whole state, There must be Wike fought for River State in his own time. His time is over. Many people have said, Wike, go away. You have a job in Abuja. Concentrate there and leave the people of River State alone. But you no agree. So for me, autonomy of rivers of the local government cannot happen with the system that we are running now. It can't happen, bro. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Revolution. Forefathers, it's looking as if Wike is losing the structure he left behind.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Dr. Rudolph. From what I gather, he appears he's lost his own polling unit too. But I think I take you know, from what AY said about Fubara himself. Some of the stuff, his antics in that state is not always good. You know, the House of Assembly that was destroyed, that kind of stuff is not good. And clearly, Wike is more capable because he's not allowing the governor to govern. Anybody that disrupts the constitutional order should be condemned, because even if a system, for all the force of the constitution, but if it is allowed to function, it is better. We are all better off for it. And I would never support anybody that goes about disrupting an election process, looking for ways to cause confusion in that process. And I think that is how I look at it. Because of that, I lean more towards, I kind of sympathize with Fubara that, you know, he's running the state, but there are actors outside the state trying to disrupt his governance. And that is not something I would say many governors experience. He deserves the support that he's getting, at least from the crowd we saw around him. And as long as the election goes fine, that is fine. And I hope sooner or later this culture of godfatherism is put in its place, really. And Nigerians should be frowning on these things. Anybody that seems to be disrupting the constitutional order and the peace of the society should be condemned. And for that, I support Fubara, because he wants the election to hold. He wants the officials to be sworn in, and then for them to receive their money. And I think they were supposed to be autonomous now, getting their own money. We want to see the benefits of that. We don't want people to be disrupting it and causing chaos. So I support him on that one. So that's where I would leave it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Forefathers. Ovie, this local government elections, how it's going? Do you see the hands of the Western powers in this, or is because you always find them in everything you discuss? Is this something that we're doing to ourselves?
Yeah, I mean, if you asked me this question in the 90s, I will be able to point it to you directly how the Western power manipulating the local government election in River State via Chevron, Shells, and Texaco. So, but now that the headquarters is in Lagos, so it's still triggered to that too. But I think for me again, this is I don't know. If I say distraction, people will think I don't know what I'm talking about. Because since the beginning of the administration, all we're talking about is Wike and Fubara in River State. And they are talking about, she was asking about should we start, either put the judges or IT protective framework. And that question is like you asking the Catholic Church, a Catholic member to differentiate between God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. The politicians, the judge, the police, they all get their paycheck from one place, so they are all the same. I think for me, what we should focus on is what flagship question he earlier asked, that why is it that there are not many OBs and Showore's. I would say I think we should be careful what we ask for, because even on the platform we have a lot of OBs, we have a lot of Showore's. I mean, what do I mean by that? Because it's as if OB is somebody who went into private business, kill it, excel very well, and decide to venture into politics. You also excel. We have a lot of them everywhere in Nigeria. Even me, even you are waiting to excel in your business and go into politics. The same thing with Showore, right? These guys, they are just, at best, they are good mobilizers. What we should be asking more of By the way, there's one show race that will be coming to my platform in an hour from now to talk. It's running for governorship of the state. So I invite everyone, including Dr. Dameji. I think what we should be asking more of is the Nnamdi Kanus, the Barack Obamas, the Michelle Obamas. What did these people have in common? They are community organizers. Their goal is bigger than them. The goal is the goal of the people. It's not how to get to office before you actually do things. Their goal is revolutionary. They will revolutionize people's thinking. That's why Nnamdi Kanu is in prison. I use Barack Obama and Michelle Obama because if you actually go into their personal life, you understand these guys are best community organizers. That's what is lacking in River State. There is nobody out there to take advantage of the fight that the two big guys are fighting. There is no community organizers to organize the people against what is going on. And that cut across the whole nation. If not, why president will just decide to say, man, we all go on holiday and nothing will happen? It is because all of them, all these people who are looking for power are the same like those who are in power. They only come from every 4 years to mobilize people. So when we lack community organizers, the leadership that we have, we do and undo. That's what happened in River State. It happened during Obasanjo and Atiku. It happened in Lagos State. It happened in Edo State. It's not something that is new. So we should take our attention away from how they are going after each other. That's what they want. But at the end of the day, is who is going to deliver River State to Bola Tinubu? Is it going to be Fubara or is it going to be Wike? That goes a lot to play by their political future. Delivering rivers, delivering rivers, with automatic in second term. We can do the same. So this is all about them. So who is going to mobilize or organize the people beyond his or our selfish interest? So that's what we should be asking for. People like Nnamdi Kanu who come with a revolutionary idea and actually have his own revolution, different generation. You like it or not, but that's what politicians fear. If you don't like the governance, the leadership you are having, you have to start organizing to take them out of power. We can't start playing their game every year and expect change. This is what they expect us to talk about. Who is wrong, who is right? They are the same. They are the same. At the end of the day, they will party together, they will attend birthday together, they are the same. So we should look for Nnamdi Kanu spirit. We should look for Barack Obama and Michelle Obama spirit, politicians who actually go into the community and put in the work for years. That's what people don't talk about. It's like Barack Obama. No, it's not. If you can successful business, you can buy your way into politics and you get whatever you want. That's who Obi is. There are a lot of them in Nigeria. There are a lot of show warriors in Nigeria who wake up every year and mobilize people for your selfish interest, for popularity gain. There are a lot of uncles who also go around all the local government in Nigeria every 4 years. There are a lot of them among us. We want people who put interests of the people beyond them. Those people don't live to see what they fight for. And this our leader knows it. There's more sacrifice to make when you want to organize. People like the Rivers instead, you have to provide feeding. There's so much that goes into it, but most importantly, it takes time. They understand it. So why are we playing their game? We can blame Fubara we want, we can blame Wike we want. Come 2-3 years time, one of them will produce the next leadership of that state. So this is not something that is new. It started with Obasanjo regime. So we should rechannel our focus away from what they want us to always talk about. Let's look for more of Nnamdi Kanu spirit. Bring your whatever ideology, but we need to start. The people that are being disenfranchised right now, the poor people, we need people to actually separate those people from the virus that we already are. Because if we wake up every day talk about and think about their leaders, we're a virus. Now, how do we stop that virus from going straight to the streets, to the ordinary people? So those are the people we should be looking out for. Thank you, Mr. Rudolph.
Yeah, thank you, Ovie. I like the way you mentioned Obama as an example of an organizer, but it's not always people like that end up being presidents. If you look at Biden, for instance, Biden came from the traditional institution, which is the lawmaking set that became president. So you can become president. It doesn't have to be that everybody will go through the Obama path and still maybe change things. Anyway, I'm not saying that you should continue, but I want
I said that because they are asking for more of Obis, more of Showoris. We have a lot of them already.
Okay.
Waiting to take advantage of the opportunity to present themselves.
Okay.
That's what we know what we need. We need people that will bring those people, those elites, bring them together in one accord so that when they speak, they will be heard.
All right.
That's not what these people stand for.
All right. Kenny, welcome. In Anambra State, Abga won. I think they won on everything. So can you see any difference in what's happening in Rivers, where you have the governor interested in making sure that his own people also win?
Okay, well, as you can see, the subtitle there, Nigerian power, you know, the truth is that we as Nigerians, they as Nigerians, they are not serious until they begin to be truthful to themselves. I don't think anything is going to change in Nigeria. So I'm trying to compare what happened in Anambra State and what is currently going on in River State. I don't think they are of equal match. And the reason being that when it comes to election in Anambra State, state election in particular, I think the local government election is something new since Pidom left office. I think there was never local government election until recent. So, but when it comes to state election, ABGA owns it in Anambra State. Then the federal election, this is where you have a number of people either siding with PDP or Labour Party. So I would say, though I don't know what's really happening in Anambra State, but from what I've known Anambra to be when it comes to state election, they are for ABGA. Nobody is going to win an Anambra State election but ABGA. So seeing local government election tilting towards, ABGA candidates, I will not be surprised. Then when it comes to River State, what is going on between Wike and Fubara is like a master fighting his good apprentice. And Fubara happens to be a good one because he learned very, very well from Wike. Some of you were surprised how the guy was on fire yesterday, was very hot yesterday. Have you forgotten who trained him? And he learned very well. So what is going on between Wike and Fubara wasn't the first time. It happened between Wike and Amechi. And Wike is now reaping the fruit of his labor. What he did to Amechi, somebody is doing it to him. Do I support Wike? No, Wike is a nuisance. Wike is a political rascal. Wike is someone that should be in Kirikiri. But, because of how Nigeria is today, he's still a free man, brutalizing everybody in River State. Do I support Fubara? No. Fubara came from the back door. So for the fact that he came from the back door, he is not qualified to have my support. For him to have my support, he has to go back, then follow the front door, take the necessary steps to, that election, have it out there for any candidate that is coming out for president, for governorship, must be elected. He wasn't elected, he was rigged into office. So for that reason, in as much as I sympathize with the people of River State, for the fact that they did not fight to have Fubara kicked out of office because he came out through the back door, I will not sympathize with them fully, because I will only say that God bless them. Let them enjoy what they allow to thrive in their state. A state where you have people elected a certain candidate, and then the election was rigged, and the people were dormant. The people did not react. And that brought me to the so-called activists from Showore, all of them. They are all fake. The forefathers was asking, what did they actually ask for whenever they protest? I agree with forefathers. They don't ask for anything. And the reason is not far-fetched. They just, some of them want to make cheap money from the politicians. They'll call them behind and give them money, and they will keep quiet. While others want to buy cheap popularity, like Showore, and it's actually working for him. And that is why you have the likes of Dan and Omori always dying for Showore. They don't understand what Showore is playing on them. Cheap popularity, cheap relevance. That is it. They have nothing very important to ask for. And that is why none of the protests has ever yielded any positive result. Because they don't know what they are doing.
It's either they know what they are doing or they're just deceiving you, just the way they are doing. So in River State, what is happening to them? I would just say, let them visit themselves. I don't care.
All right.
We have the Ukomposo the other time was asking the protesters not to come out and protest. Today, he was paid a visit, and Ukomposo is saying, "Oh, that he will deal with Tinubu. That Tinubu will never see." These people are just playing with us. None of them from A to Z, none of them is qualified to be a leader. None. Like I said, I always say, it is only P2B that I've voted for, and it is only P2B that I will still vote for now. Unless I see somebody else that is better than P2B, then I will go for that person. Be it Hausa person or Yoruba, I don't care where it's coming from, provided it's as good or even better than P2B, I will support that person. But for now, all of them from A to Z, they are all criminals, except P2B that I've seen for now.
All right, thank you, Kenneth. Revolution, 1 minute.
Yes, thank you for the opportunity. Thank you, Wana. You see, Ekene is trying to accuse me now that I'm supporting Shore. What I'm supporting in Shore is that he's the only politician right now that is telling the poor guys like us, the street boys, the people who really suffered, how to get Nigeria. Revolution now. That's why I support him. And I want to just beg everybody, especially the Igbos who think that Shore is a tool of Tinubu, because most Igbo analysts everywhere, VOP, they will say no, because we don't know him. He's working for Tinubu. I tell them, say, please let them leave that matter. Shore is working for the people. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Man of Prestige, 1 minute. Unmute yourself, please.
Yeah, I'm here. I just want to. I just want to come from a different angle. You know, everybody saying. I mean, Fubara is one of them, so I don't really sympathize with Fubara. We know through Miss, but he came into power. But I sympathize with the people of River State because they didn't ask for this, so they are the people being hostage right now. That's the angle I'm seeing it. Like I said earlier, nothing has been implemented since Fubara came into power. About a year and a half right now, nothing has happened. So people are the ones suffering. That's the way I see that.
All right, thank you. I just want to take a minute to make some announcements. We are making changes on this platform, and you're beginning to see some of them. One of them that probably those who were not here at the beginning is that if you go look at the banner going down below, you will see the message there. We have talent release form. We just realized that all of you in the platform here are talented people. So we came up with a form for you to read and agree to that form. We make it available on the private chat. It's something that is standard in the industry, but it tells you what you are agreeing to when you come into this studio to be a member of this panel. There have been so many instances where we had to remind people that coming here is a privilege, just for the purpose of making it very clear to everybody, for it to be something that people will enjoy. So coming in here means that you accepted to the terms of that agreement. If you want, you can send your email in the private chat. I can forward that to you. You can read it. That's one. The second thing I want to talk about is that we are now on the comment section. For the comment sections, we have moderators now who have the spanner. So at least you know who is moderating there. So Forefathers has a spanner. Mr. Show has a spanner. Electricity has a spanner. Eventually, we'll get most of our moderators to have it. We are still working on it. So you know the people who are moderating the comment section. The other thing we changed is that every show now will last for 3 hours max. So this show that I'm hosting will end in another 50-something minutes. And I will hand it over to Forefathers, who will begin another show that will last for 3 hours. After Forefathers, another show will come on that will last for 3 hours. And that will be the ladies. And then the next show will come on after them, which will last for 3 hours. and I think Forefathers is coming back. So that's how we are going to be doing it on Saturdays. On Sundays, it will be similar. I will do the 90 Minutes Africa, and tomorrow I have Dele Ogun joining us on the show for those who are fans of his works, Fatherless People. He also has a new book that he just finished on October 1. He will talk about that tomorrow. So Sundays after the 90 Minutes Africa, we will have another 3-hour shows with different moderators who want to run different shows. So that's it. So we have another topic, one more topic to discuss, and then I will hand it over to Forefathers, and that is Adeboye, the leader of Redeemed Christian Church of God.
Not paying his tithe is not going to heaven. Full stop.
I'm going to be apologizing for making a mistake. For saying that if you don't pay tithe, you might not make it to heaven. I'm sorry, that's wrong. That's not in the Bible. What the Bible says is, ye are peace with all men, and holiness, without which no man shall see God. Now, let me tell you, listen to me. You know, it is possible to be right and wrong at the same time. I prove it to you. I mean, I'm a scientist, so I know that. For years, we taught that light travels in straight lines. Now, is that correct? At least those of you who know a little bit of physics will say, sure, the light doesn't bend. At corner, it goes straight. But later on, we discover it's not just not straight as a rod. Light travels in waves, going in one direction, but in waves. It is wrong to limit you to 10%. At a time when some of you should be 20%, 30%, 40%, 10% should be for beginners. Giving should be violently.
All right. That was Adeboye talking about how light travels. I was surprised that he still remembers his science. He could apply.
He's very wrong in his science, actually.
He said what?
He is very wrong in his science. He's a bad science student.
No. He was a math. I think he was a professor of mathematics. But I was surprised that he could go to science. I wish we could have him on the show and interview him about how he drove his car without fuel from Benin to Lagos, I think. Anyway, so that's what we have. Also, similar to that, because we have to talk about the church together, and then there's another famous pastor who spoke this way.
I did not visit Onitsha City. I don't come in Onitsha City. I don't born in a village. I born in this Onitsha City. Number 3, Newe Street. I born in this Odabo. And I glow in a dangerous street, Oshma Street. And I become an armed robber in the age of 40 years. I became a terrorist until Jesus Christ arrest me through by the help of my mother to change my life. And a destroyer become a savior. I died many years ago.
Yes, I died many years ago. So let's start with Adeboye, and let me find it. Is there anybody who goes to church here? Not the fake, not the. Let me see. I saw Kene raising his hand. Kene goes to church. Anyway, let me start with you, Mr. Shaw.
Well, I saw the video, and I'm glad that I saw the full video, because when I saw the headline that he apologized for telling people that if they don't pay tithe, they wouldn't make heaven. I saw the headline, I was quite glad. I'm happy that, a bit of redemption, maybe late, but at least redemption. But when I watched the video, I just thought, what a waste of time. Who is he fooling? What was the point of that? It's like those who say to you, if I offended you, I'm sorry. Sorry. Keep your apologies to yourself. If I offended you, if anybody is hurt by what I said, no, just say sorry. It should have said, it's not in the Bible. I should not have said that. I apologize wholeheartedly, full stop. But he went ahead and said 10% is for beginners. When they tell them, say, raise them, as they say, raise them, 20, 30, 40, and there are people who will be running to go and find 40% to give. In that same Nigeria, where things are hard for them. It's quite interesting that, when things are tight for these pastors, they ask the members to give. They are direct. It's not spiritual. Give. We need money. Donate. If you have 1,000, stand up. If you have 2,000, stand up. If you have 10 million, come and see my whatever secretary, which he did. He raised 1 billion. There was a time he was raising 1 billion, saying to people, if you want to donate 1 billion, if you want to donate half, if you're saying, Daddy, all I have is 500 million. All I have is 500 million. Like, what work do you do that you're, but so when it's saying people should give 40%, I'm thinking that's nonsense. When the pastors need money, they go to the people. When the people need money, they tell you to pray to God. How people cannot see that these guys don't mean well for them is beyond me. I'm a Christian, but I don't have to believe in your pastor. One of the reasons why Jesus came, if you actually believe in it, is to take away the intermediary so that we can have direct access. So what's all these people that parade themselves all over the place and say they are pastors? There might be pastors who are genuine, but a lot of these people in Nigeria especially, they are profiting on the poor people. It's like gambling shops. If you go to the poorer boroughs in London, there's a gambling shop every 2 meters. But when you go to Chelsea and Fulham, where you find forefathers most times, all those posh places, you don't find gambling shops because the people are not desperate. The day Nigeria starts to work and work properly, most of these places they will close shop. There'll be no business. A few of them will remain, but majority of them are just profit on the people are desperate. They need something, so they would sell hope to them. Give and it shall be given unto you, good measure, pressed down, shaken together. They quote that a lot, but it's also in the Bible that you should decide from home how much you are going to give, lest you are cajoled. They never preach that. They don't mean well for the people. You see them build auditoriums. And I'm not saying they should solve Nigeria's problem, because there are people who come for you and you vote for them, you didn't vote for the pastor. I'm not saying they should solve Nigeria's problem, but stop adding to it. Stop exploiting the people. Why is it that when you need money, it is not spiritual? You tell the people direct in English, give us money. When the people need money, it's no longer English. They have to speak in tongues to God. Why is it different? We need to ask questions. Why is it that all these our pastors in Nigeria, when they come to the UK, to the US, to Canada, their congregation, the people they still come and meet are Nigerians? There's a reason why Oyinbo people don't attend their crusades, and they don't even want Oyinbo people there, because those ones will start to question. Some of them will question it. Our people need to, they need to wake up and start working out when they talk about some of this nonsense that they talk about. How dare you fleece the people? In the midst of poverty, you're still asking them for more. You're squeezing them. They've brainwashed so many people, and they've lost a generation that they've not realized. They've lost a generation or two of Christians. Wait for a bit. When these people start dying off and their children start taking over, you will see these places would empty. It would empty. There's a reason why the father is a pastor, the wife is a pastor, their son is a pastor. It's too much money. They can't give it to an outsider. Let them die. The people that have been supporting them, hoping that Oga will hand over to me, will now realize that Madam will take over. When Madam dies, their son will take over. When they realize, all those ones will start to vex and they will start to leave. And you see all these things fall apart. There is Jesus, but there's these people who just fleece people in the name of Jesus. Nonsense people.
Wow, thank you, Sho. I think if you look at it, it's connected to what we talked about before, which was Fubara and Wike, which was simply, it's all about money. Fubara got in there and saw the billions that you can take without answering any question to anybody as security votes. And he became very powerful and he could challenge. That's what happens, why you find the former governor fighting the current governor. So the same thing in the church. If you look at Idahosa, you see what happened to Idahosa when he died, Benson Idahosa. The people who couldn't get the congregation moved away and started their own churches, and continues. Anyway, let me go to Forefathers. He lives in a posh part of UK, and we want to know what they do there in terms of how they see all these pastors and heaven and tithes. So Forefathers.
When the show starts saying these sort of things, that should tell you where he lives, not right. Yeah, among the chavs, we're all here. So, all right. He went and he did a logical fallacy with physics there, and that light travels in straight line only, not when it's close to a black hole, by the way. And then he started to use waves to talk about how you should pay more in tithe. That is so, and these guys, the con that they are playing people, I don't know. I have a topic that I need to discuss about how Oyibo people handed religion to us like Tokumbo. Like they are doing now. They hand their hand downs like their cards they don't like again. We start using them as if we love them so much. Because during the time when they brought religion over, it turns out that time they've already left it. They've started moving on to the scientific method of ascertaining what is actually true and real. And the fact that they managed to con people to believe that there's heaven and hell, because it started with heaven. Who has been to heaven and hell? Our people, we really need to open our eyes. Though. This world, anybody that knows the truth of things more than you, it means that you are in chain, they are free because they see more. You don't see it. And they have deceived so many people. And if you go to Abuja, the religious houses are so massive. In Nigeria, everywhere, they dominate everything. And it's so many fallacies. Say two things can be true at the same time. You have to change the context before they become true at the same time, before you get the same result. You can't exactly be true at the same time. You have to change what that is critical thinking that a lot of people won't challenge. They treat our people like idiots. But then again, I'm not the one to say it. But point is wrong.
You can say, don't worry.
Oh, no, I'm not involved in that one. Because a lot of people feel strongly about these things, and I have to, because it does have value for them. I have to concede that point. Religion does have value for a lot of people, and it makes a lot of people's lives better. But there are better ways to navigate this world we are in, and we have to start doing better and questioning this type of leaders. And the path we can walk to give us that level of freedom is that you can be good in this world without religion. And you can know you will die one day and you don't have a clue what is going to happen. The only one you have is this one. Anybody that tells you something else is out there, let them go and there and bring proof. You can be good. You can do a lot of good things. Being good, you don't have to be promised heaven before you are good. I'll leave it there. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Bumi. Welcome to the show. Let's go to a man of prestige and get his take on Adeboye seeing the light about tithes. Now people can calm down, know that they don't have to fear that they won't make heaven because they did not pay their tithes. So, man of prestige.
Yeah, I'm not going to come here and castigate all pastors like they're evil or something like that. I mean, I think we go to, to learn, the will of God and something like that, and take up whatever they preach. I mean, I don't normally hold them in high regard as, like they're man of God. I mean, we may call them the man of God. It's all good, but You just go there and learn whatever. They are human beings like us. But let's come to this Pastor Adebayo. I think what I have begun to understand in Nigeria that the best business to go in Nigeria is being a pastor or building churches and the politician. That's the two best business in Nigeria. If you want to be rich, and that's where we find ourselves. I mean, the statement that he made, I find it very insidious for him to say that the prerequisite for for going to heaven, you have to pay a tithe. So now that he has come to apologize, what does that mean? It doesn't really mean anything. Is that a rethinking? This man has been a pastor for 40 years, from what I understand. Are you just now having a rethinking that what you said was wrong initially for apologizing? It doesn't make any sense. I think it's a prelude for what he just said on the second part after he has apologized. It's matter of financial gain. That's what he's saying. Because if you understand what he said, that you have to pay minimum of 10%. So he's using that, the initial apology, for you to say, you have to pay 10%, 20% or something like that. It's all about financial gain. That's the way I see most of the pastors in Nigeria. I mean, they're just using the common people, We know how Nigerian people are, They go to church to find certain kind of freedom, because everybody, Nigeria is so bad right now. People always go to church, to rekindle what they consider to be hope. A lot of Nigerians live on hope. That is where the pastor is taking advantage of them. The rich people are the one pay most of the time, but you don't expect somebody who has not even have 1 square meal a day, and you want them to go there and give you whatever they have, and they do that. So Nigeria is just a scam when it comes to religiosity. I'm not saying everybody is in that it's in that space. I mean, but majority of the pastors in Nigeria. I mean, that happened here too, but Nigeria is on a different level. So I think people need to wake up, But what's going to happen when the present pastors, most of them are, are within the age of 70 or 80 or whatever age, what's going to happen in the next dispensation, whereby you have their kids and something like that coming in? I think people are learning. The next dispensation is not going to be as we have it right now. So we just we just have to live and see what's going to be the dimension of that particular dispensation after they have leave, and their children or some other people come and take over. So that's we see what happens in that regard. So that's where I see it.
All right. Thank you so much. We want to thank people who have decided to join us as members of this channel. We need that to help us support what we are doing. We are really revamping things. We are going to roll out more changes, and any support we get from people.
Can I ask a question? What do you mean a member? I'm not aware of, and what is that coming from?
On Facebook, you can actually be a member, and that will mean that you are supporting the channel on a monthly basis. So we appreciate that. So thank you. So CM, you don't look to me like somebody who pays tithe, but if you do, will you be consistent now, or will you jack it up to 40%?
And anyway, because of those listening, I have to establish my credential. If you go to St. Peter's Basilica at the Vatican City in Rome, my name is there. I'm saying it openly. People should hear. Something took me there. My name is in the books there. But when it comes, I will establish that. So I'm a Catholic, and they're practicing one for that matter. Regarding Pastor Adeboye, well, it's an apology very late. To me, I do not accept that. One, although I blame Nigerians for being vulnerable, that somebody should tell you to be paying tithe, without them thinking twice about it. I still blame Pastor Adeboye, because if you really want to do restitution or genuine apology, I know it may be difficult refunding the whole money it's been collecting all over the years, but because they have a university, you can declare moratorium for 20 years. People should come and attend the university without paying. Yes, that is to say, that is the best way. To me, the irreducible minimum I will accept. He will just make his university free, every course. For 20 years, people should come and get education free as a way to pay back. Because you can't tell me you're telling people come and bring tithe. Then later when you know that you are getting close to your grave, you come out and say, now you realize it's not in the Bible. And you'll be reading the Bible from page to page for the past 20 years. Now you are telling us. So that is my take on it anyway. But as going forward, I think this is to tell other pastors that they should come clean. If Adeboye can come clean, they should also come clean. And if they should do so, if they say what Adeboye said, I won't accept that too. I will also recommend those of them with universities. They should educate Nigerians free for 20 years. Then if they are having their private jet, you can sell the private jet or sell the private jet. Don't donate the money to charity, but sell the private jet, put it as part of the university and then strengthen the facilities. That's what they could do. Or you give up the university entirely. You don't have, you just give up the university so that it will be run by whoever or whatever organization. I mean, this is a serious matter. This is a organized criminality, organized fraud based on theocratic insolence. It's organized fraud going on for a long time. So they know exactly what they're doing. After Adeboye benefited, he must have trained his children, put them in positions of power and everything. And now you are telling us that you are sorry, it's not in the Bible. Who are you talking to? It's organized fraud. So if you really want to devote, I'm a Catholic. The way they do it in Catholic is if you go for confession or a period of catharsis, they will tell you whatever you stole, go and return it first. If it's a tubo of yam, go and return the tubo of yam first. Then you now come for your penance, for punishment, for doing it. So it's not enough after stealing money from people for years. You come back and say you are sorry, and then it ends like that. Just like that. No, it should not be. The university should be confiscated. No, well, let him just release all the assets he has had in that case now, because they say you came to this world empty-handed. So that if he's dying today, we know he's dying empty-handed. And not that he's come to the world to amass wealth and then based on tithe, a wrong doctrine that is not in the Bible. Because it's like challenging God. It's not in the Bible. You invented it to do people. So I can go on and on, but let me stop here. I think they have passed the message. Adeboye should divulge himself of all the criminal gains he made from churches, and then maybe God will not take up from where I stopped. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I remember that when he first said that, people like us who do political satire, we made fun of it, and his people abused us and cursed us out. But I wonder whether they will also apologize to people like us that we were not crazy. He's not the first one that did this. Remember that Kumuyi, Deeper Life, once told his members that they should not watch TV. Remember when I was in school, I used to sample all these churches to see what they are doing. And when I was told that if you join Redeem, you shouldn't watch TV, that is something devilish. I told them goodbye. I didn't go there again. But these are the things, and over many years, people believe in these things and follow them. Now that they are getting old and they are beginning to think about whether they too will make heaven, they are changing their position. All right, let me come to you, Mr. James. I know you don't pay tithes. I know you don't go near the church, but
please put me on backstage for now. Put me on backstage, Rudolph, so that I can.
Yeah, Mr. James, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. This is an interesting topic because, you see, if I had not lived in Jerusalem, maybe I will have believed the existence of God. By living in the state of Israel, mixing with the Jews and other people, convinced me beyond all reasonable doubt that God does not exist. I had the advantage of going there when I was a young man to look for money. So that's an opportunity most people cannot have. You need to live in their midst, know how they organize themselves, and how they relate with people, their beliefs, customs, and traditions. You believe that religion is a scam, one of the greatest scams man has ever invented. Others are banking, social security, and insurance. These are all scams, legalized scams in the history of man. Now, it's not only Nigerian pastors or men of God who behave in this fashion. When I was a little boy, right from primary school to my high school days, I read the literature of the Jehovah's Witnesses thoroughly because they write in very, very simple, straightforward English, which primary school children with good education background can understand. They are very strict people, and I must confess, they are among the best people you can ever live with on Earth, on planet Earth. That is the Jehovah's Witnesses in town. But the problem with the organization is their headquarters. That organization is built on fraud, monumental fraud. They preach doctrines which are out of tune with biblical teachings. For example, they tell you, you are not permitted to take, to succumb to what they call blood transfusion when you are sick. You are not allowed to smoke cigarettes and quite a lot of other things. If you are caught engaging in those practices, you'll be excommunicated straight away. That is the law they cooked in America and dished out to the whole world. But it's surprising now that even their relationship with the United Nations Organization in the past was very, very negative. They condemned all religious organizations on earth other than theirs. But now they've turned a new leaf. From what I'm hearing, they are now saying you are allowed to wear beards as a Jehovah's Witness. It's a matter of choice. If you are sick and you're in the hospital, they want to administer blood, well, it's a question of conscience. If your conscience allows it, that is between you and God, those kind of things. They are backpedaling because of the realities of our time. Now, these pastors in Nigeria, we got used to them since before I was born. I grew up in Benin City. I lived with Idahosa in Benin City, Benson, Idahosa. He was selling shoes at, he was working at Bata Shoe Company at the junction of Forestry Road and Ring Road, Benin City. Before he started his St. David's, Home of Prayer, somewhere at Yaro in Benin. That was how he grew up to become a giant in the church business. Inside the church there was chronic infighting. There were some other cases, so although I could not relate, there's no direct link between him and those cases. But however, these things happened and people were reading meanings to quite a lot of things in the church. It's just a question of time. People will get wiser. The way the Europeans developed after the age of reason, law of evidence developed and things like that, and eventually they got out of this religious, business. Now, for this man, that pastor who said he was an armed robber at the age of 14 or something like that, there is need for the police to get him arrested for one reason. In law, there's what they call Limitations Act, if I'm not mistaken. The lawyers call it Limitations Act. That is, if I have a business with you or do something with you, after a specific number of years, I can no longer take legal action against you. That is Limitation Act or something like that. But that does not apply to criminal cases. Crime has no expiry date. If you commit any offense, even before you were born in your mother's womb, and it is established that you committed the offense, you can be arrested, put on trial, and disciplined appropriately. So that guy who confessed openly that he was an armed robber should be arrested as quickly as possible, and that is the responsibility of the state, not the church members going to report him, because the video is already online. So the state should make appropriate arrangement to get him arrested. If there is armed robbery and firearms tribunal, if he's still active, they should arrange. I mean, he should just face the tribunal. And if the penalty is death by firing squad, so be it. It should be executed publicly. As an example, after all, Christ did not stop people from executing him. He had the powers, going by biblical teachings. Christ had the powers to command angels from heaven to rescue him, but he refused to invoke that power. So this guy should be arraigned before a tribunal, found guilty, they should take him to a public square and get him executed for committing such horrendous atrocity against the state. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. James. I know that those who support Ndabowski will be happy to hear your recommendation. Anyway.
And thank you, Rudolph. Well, I'm not going to talk too much. The part I'm really interested is Baba Adeboye comparing science and religion. So he said he was trying to justify his argument by saying, oh, scientists used to think light travel in a straight line, but they later discovered travel as a wave. That's actually not a fact. There is no theory to prove that light does not travel in a straight line. Until today, 100% of scientists agree that light travel in a straight line. What he's talking about, light can also add a form of a wave or a particle. This is what we call the wave-particle duality of light. So it's kind of misinforming the public. I find it very irritating. And the other thing is science is continuous learning. People can do research and find out new stuff. When you say religion, you are referring to a book that we all accepted it was from God. So what has changed today? Is there a new prophet that is making changes to the Bible? So I don't think it was a mistake. It was just a deliberate thing to just deceive the people. I think people need to think with their head, to be honest. If you are a Christian, you are a Muslim, whatever you believe, go study things by yourself. Question the people. Question the imam. Question the pastor. Question the reverend father. Question whoever. Ask questions. Don't just sit down there, assume people just use you to play a ping-pong, and tomorrow they tell you the law have changed. So I find I was just interested in the science part of it. I think I don't know if he was a scientist. I know he was a mathematician, but again, that is a complete false statement. Thank you.
Thank you so much, AY. Let's go to the flagship.
Oh, thank you, Rudolph. I was laughing at a few statements made by Mr. James and someone else. But, you know, this is a miscalculated attempt, in my opinion. When I heard it the first time, I wasn't surprised because I've heard it before. And when you hear religious leaders come out to make apologies like this, I always say, please don't look too far because it's going to get worse. Creflo Dollar here in my state did it before. He came out and said everything he has taught on tithing, he was advising or instructing his members to go get all the tapes, the books, the CDs and everything and burn them up. And just as people before they turned around to heave a sigh of relief, there he came again, bam, with another one. You must pay tithe, and he was collecting it again. So for what Pastor Adeboye said on Thursday, that paying tithe would not amount you to a ticket to get entrance to heaven, I just felt sorry for those who had taken that statement hook, line, and sinker in the past and gave everything they had in tithe, hoping that they would get a ticket to heaven, and they have died, and only God knows where they are now. And here he is saying, oh, I'm sorry, that was wrong. It's not scriptural. Everything he said in the apology are not scriptural. And in my opinion, it's not an apology at all. He only made it worse, in my opinion, because he just said what I said before is not scriptural, and then gave his scientific explanation to try to convince people to believe that you could be right and wrong at the same time. I don't understand that principle. And then ended up by saying, limiting you members of the church to give 10% is bad. You should be giving 20, 30, and 40. That's not scriptural either. So I'm not sure where he's coming from. In my opinion, it's just like jumping from the frying pan to fire. He made worse of an already bad situation. If I were to have had a chance, I would have said, just let it stay, don't say nothing. People have forgotten about it, move on. Make your peace with God and teach the right thing. This explains why you will hear someone like Bishop Oyedepo this same week, when he was celebrating his birthday, boldly made a statement and said, I do not pray to God to ask for anything. When you see God, go ask him. When was the last time I ever asked him for something? Now it makes sense. If the members of the church are giving 20, 30, 40% of their income, I don't see why he would need to talk to God to ask for anything. So please, people, read your Bible for yourself. Have a personal relationship with God. If you would have to do anything at all, act like the Berean Christians. It's obvious now that it is not everything your pastors tell you from that stage that is true. Fact check everything before you accept it. If not, you might just end up living with a lie for many years, only to find out that it was a lie when it was too late. Thank you.
All right, thank you. We have less than 20 minutes, so we have to get to everybody to weigh in on this topic before we hand it over to our forefathers who will continue on a different stream. So let me come to you, Bumi. I'll just give everybody else 3 minutes, please. Let's get to hear their view. Bumi, are you happy with this new idea that you make heaven even though you don't pay 10% of your tithes?
Good evening, Dr. Damages, and greetings to everyone. To be honest, when I was little, I've always questioned like the whole concept of religion from day one. And I think it's making sense now. I think the problem has always been that in our environment, we don't encourage like asking questions, you know. I was talking to a friend of mine today and she studies English, and she was I was asking her like, what do you guys actually learn in your English? Because she's studying in English in university. I'm like, what exactly do you guys talk about? And she explained like how last semester they mostly focused on grammar, and this semester they're focusing on like topics. Right now they're focusing on like the American election, and they're looking at, you know, choice of words from different media outlet. They're picking each like articles and reading them, and basically they're talking and like saying, okay, Republicans, Democrats, what words are they using, why are they using those words and everything. So when you look at that environment, it creates that you don't just take things because people are saying it. You go down and you do your research. And I think when you look at that video, I think one thing that baffles more is not him actually apologizing or not apologizing. I don't think he's the problem. I think the biggest problem is the audience. When he said that he wants to apologize, if you listen close, people were like hailing him for apologizing. And then he comes back again and drops another outrageous conclusion, and they were hailing him too. So I don't have I don't think I respect him as a man or as a pastor, but I don't also want to say I fault him, because like you need to think about the people surrounding him too. You know, it's like you get what you get. It's like you put yourself in a situation for someone to scam you, they will scam you. And I think if we as a society, I don't think, because I think Mr. Jen kind of concluded in terms of like saying that the state should hold him accountable. I don't think that we should end the conversation in the state holding him accountable. I think we should end the conversation about having critical thinking, because yes, he said he's apologizing, but then he concluded a statement about saying something that's actually wrong. If we had a church environment whereby we could ask him, but sir, how did you conclude in that, like, not just paying 10% to us not paying more than 10%? Where are you getting your facts from? But no one can ask him that, because you're there to shut up and listen to him. The only time you can have an interactive conversation is during Bible studies. So I think we should also change that in terms of religion. It should be controversial. You cannot just drop something without pointing a verse. And we should go word by word and actually come to a conclusion together. Not you as a man determine the meaning of it, us as a society. Because then we wouldn't have this outrageous, like, oh, someone come in 10 years and say, I apologize. That's crazy.
Yeah, thank you, Bumi. Revolution, 3 minutes, please.
Yeah, thank you. Let me just start. That's a word called hypnotism. I don't know whether you guys know what that means. Many Nigerians have been hypnotized. Anything you say, yes, sir. Yes, na so. That's the problem of Nigeria. You understand? That a lot of pastors or whatever they call themselves, that the G or whatever, blah, 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 they are criminals. Fela sang a song, Pope na enjoyment, Imam na baladu, fan, fan, fan. So if you know those type of music, I can't go church, can't they give somebody money? Are they crazy? I've never done it. Oh, let me be clear with you guys. Not because I'm a Rasta man. I prefer to give somebody who come to me on the street and tell me, bros, I never chop, I will give you. That's the way I live my life. And anybody, I have a guy working with me where I work. He's a redeemed guy. You know the time he made that funny joke that he was drinking 3 cups of tea or whatever. I told the guy saying, the man is greedy. What God did there was to tell him, you are drinking 3 cups, only you. Where some of your members don't even have money to come to church. That God did that to tell you that you are greedy. You have to drink 1 cup of tea or 2 as a reasonable person. Now you are drinking 3. God was showing him greediness, but he came and put another way that God was enjoying with him. So I don't have much to say than to tell you people that if a revolutionary government comes to power, many of these people will go to jail with these politicians. They are among the people who will go to jail with the politicians. Yeah, that's my view upon that one. And I pray to those people who contribute money to keep doing it, Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. We apologize for what's happening when we highlight something and it blocks our viewers. We figure out what is wrong. Somebody changed the settings somewhere, but we'll figure that out. Let's round up quickly so that I can leave and hand over to forefathers. Kenneth, you're next.
Thank you, Dr. Odumeje. Once again, I agree with AY that the pastor lied. He is trying to apologize for his previous lie. They're using another lie to cover the previous lie. So a pathetic liar shouldn't be respected, no matter what your age is. If you like, be as old as Methuselah, provided you deceive a criminal and a bloody liar, you shouldn't be respected in a sane society. This is it. I always tell people that, see, the behavior of some of these pastors are actually trying to scare us, some of us that are still having one of our leg in church and the other one outside the church. Their behavior is trying to make us to remove the other leg from church and wave it bye-bye. The problem is some of these Christians, and I will limit my conversation with Nigerian Christians, they are not actually Christians. If they are Christians, they shouldn't be in these churches today. 99% of them are not Christians. they are not behaving like Christ. If they are behaving like Christ, they should be reading the Bible themselves, the ones they believe actually. They should go to Deuteronomy chapter 14, verse 22 to 29. It spelled out how you are charged to pay your tithe. The Igbo people of today, I don't know about other ethnic groups, but the Igbo people of today are paying their tithe traditionally. 10% of your produce, bring it to your temple where God designated for you, your aloe or your God, wherever it is, sacrifice it to your God, cook it, and enjoy with your family. God did not say the God of the Israelites, because it is not the God of the entire world. The God of Israelites did not ask them to take the tithes to church. Take it to where God assigned for you. Your aloe, your wound, your shrine. Sacrifice it there to your God and cook it for your family. That is how you pay your tithes. But if you choose to be enriching your one lazy, former failed mathematician that called himself a pastor today, then it's up to you. He's coming here to lie to us. As far as we still know, we the science students, we still believe, and we still know, not believe, we know that light travel in a straight line. Actually, light travel as a magnetic wave, propagating in a straight line through a space. And it also behaves like a wave and a particle at the same time, which is also called protons. So for this man to come here and be telling us that light actually is just a pathetic lie. And he shouldn't be telling us this because I don't want to discuss about Christianity because it's really provoking. These people, they don't know Christ. They don't behave like Christ. Matter of fact, Christ wasn't actually a Christian. But if you claim that you want to behave like Christ, can you seriously behave like Christ? Don't be behaving like a mafia, a criminal.
Can I thank you? Ike, welcome.
Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. From the beautiful island of Bonaire. Before I make a comment, I want to say I am a Christian. I believe in the Word of God. I believe in God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit. And I will not force you to believe in what I believe. And I read the Bible. And I am a preacher of the gospel of the Jesus Christ that I believe in. And I read the Bible. I want to tell you what is wrong with Nigerian church. I want to read the book of Jeremiah chapter 14, verse 14 for every one of us to hear the problem with Christianity in Nigeria. I don't want to paint every man of God with the same brush. Because when you're talking about pastors, you're even talking about reverend fathers also. Everybody is involved. So I do not want to paint nobody. And I judge no man. But your actions and your decision, they will always judge you to what you believe in. Look at what the word of God, the Bible that I believe, that I read, and I believe that it exists. This is what he said in Jeremiah 14:14. Then the Lord said, these prophets are telling lies in my name. I did not send them or tell them to speak. I did not give them any messages. They prophesy of visions and revelations they have never seen or heard. They speak foolishness made up in their own lying heart. This is the problem of Nigerian Christianity. The pulpit has been defiled by monsters claiming to be pastors and men of God. The word of God, the Bible from Genesis to Revelation, if you believe in God, I'm talking about the people that believe that God exists, that believe in God. If you read from Genesis to Revelation of the word of God, what is he telling you? Prepare my people for my coming. That is the entire word of God. That is the entire book of the word of God from Genesis to Revelation. Every other thing is a process for you to prepare the people for the coming of Christ. Listen, the problem with Nigerian church, I don't want to talk about him. That's what I just read here now. This is for every man of God.
And every Christian, or Nigerian Christians, the word of God is like when you go to buy Chinua Achebe. The Bible is like when you go to buy Chinua Achebe. Do you need your pastor to teach you the Bible? You need to read the Bible the way you read your books.
All right, Ike, thank you. We want to get to Paul and Eagles before
But
we
why
go.
is it now you reach our sound these 3 minutes before you give everybody time to speak?
Yeah, because they took too much time and then we don't have.
Okay,
we really
let me end like this. It's an advice. You can take it or you leave it. Do not paint all the men of God to be the same. Please. Because giving, as an Igbo man, I was born as an Igbo man. We know that giving is something that even though you don't need Bible to know that to give is a blessing. Because you have. And that's why you give to someone who doesn't have.
All right, thank you.
Don't mix. People can use anything to say tithe is wrong or tithe is bad. No, it's the same thing Ekene said now. But it's talking about go to your ROC or go to your God. It's the same thing. Show has something to give. That's why you remember some Nigerians that are suffering right now. You give. Right?
Ike, this conversation probably will continue when our forefathers.
That's why I say my last advice I just said. Yeah, I'm not telling you to take it. Paint not all the whole men of God with the same brush.
All right,
please.
Thank you, Paul. 2 minutes.
Well, I will paint all men of God with the same brush. So there are different laws in different places. So in America, in Nigeria, you are innocent upon proven guilty. In Mexico, you are guilty, then you prove your innocence. These men of God have failed us timelessly. You can see the Pope traveling around the world trying to defend all the rape. They violate people. So if you want to go, you can go everywhere. You still see the same of the same, like Jimmy Akbaje would say. So it's time for me to say they are guilty. Let them come and prove they are innocent. That's why I want to follow Mexico, the way they arrange their judicial system and everything. So Adeboye talking what he's talking. My mother has been a redeemer for over 30 years before. I see all the shenanigans, how these people here kill my mother. You understand? With all the fear and everything, like revolution we say, they hypnotize you. So even though when you have that gift of giving, you give the wrong place. You hardly see. They try to also convince you not to give people who really need that help. You go give the wrong place. They hypnotize you. That's exactly what revolution is talking about. And I like your word again, Mr. Ike. You talk about if you go read Chinua Achebe's book. I like it because the Bible says when I was a child, I think like a child. And the Bible equally says when I become adult, the Bible never say you think like adult. It said put away childish things. This worship that we worship men of God, put those things away. You understand? And tell them the way it is. Put away childish things. That's what the Bible says. So when I become adult, I put away childish things. We should grow up. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Eagles, you have the last word. 2 minutes.
Not 2 minutes. I'll be here. You give me my own 3 minutes. That's the truth about it. So what I'm trying to say in effect is that the book of Galatians chapter 6, verse 7 and 8 said that do not be deceived because God cannot be mocked. Now, giving tithe, I'm not against giving tithe, I'm not against everything, but tell us the truth behind the tithe. Don't come and rob us and begin to lie to us. Adeboye said that he came out to do apology. What is that he said apology? He said that I want to apologize that when he said, Adeboye said that if you don't pay tithe, you will not go to heaven. The Bible do not say that. That means, in other words, if you pay tithe or do not pay tithe, you will go to heaven. That's the truth about it. So tithe is not mandatory. It's willingly. Now, I want us to understand this thing. See, the church of this generation, they have put fear in the life of people. They have put guilt in the life of their member, and they have put emotion. So with this three things now, people began to compel
therefore they use those three things to compare people to begin to bring something, to do something out of the word of God. I read the Bible, I study Bible, I go deep. So all these things they are saying to compare people to bring money is a fallacy, it's a lie. It does not exist. But that's why the book of Ezekiel, chapter 34, verse 1 to 8 said that I'm going to tell them, I'm going to take away my sheep from them, because they are there for their own stomach, not for the people that I give them, not for the flock I give to them. So everything they are doing in that place, they are just trying to look for their own stomach. In fact, they are developing their own industry so that they will hand over to their children. But the people of God, if you believe in the word of God, study Bible, know your Bible by yourself. Don't say that my pastor said. I heard that thing. You come and tell me my pastor said. Because they are carrying wrong information and begin to walk away, begin to spread wrong information that is not written in Bible. Even your pastor said, you go to the Bible, read the Bible, and know what your pastor said, whether it's right or wrong. I'm not judging anybody, but tell us the truth. Stop hiding truth away from us. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Igos. Sure, you have something to say before we run?
Yes, just want to thank everyone who's joined this this particular broadcast. Thank you to all those who sent in super chat, for those who shared, liked. If you've not liked, please like. If you've not sent in your super chat and you're led by the Spirit, of course, since we're talking religion, please, send in your super chat. It helps the channel pay the staff, mostly in Nigeria. Well, all in Nigeria will get paid. None of us, we've said it's a voluntary job that we do here. So thank you all for joining. I also want to reach out to a gentleman who joined one of the streams. I watched it back. I think it happened on a Friday or one of the midweeks. His name is Iconography. It was the day they had the Showore and Peter Obi conversation. He came and I watched it later. He spoke intelligently. I completely loved the way he spoke, gave his submission. So Iconography, if you're watching or if anyone knows him, if he joins one of the live streams and I'm there, I would like to, buy you data. I want to buy you data. I know you live in Nigeria as a young person. We love such people to come on. I put my money where my mouth is. I support things like that.
Nigeria in whatever way.
And also, righteous man, before you come for all of us, on behalf of the show, all of us are asking, where are you today? Hope you're well, because I know you come for us. So righteous man, hope you're well. Anyway, that's all I came to say. Did you get that? You're muted, Dr. Damages. Yeah, I was just checking on righteous man. Hope is well. We missed you today. On behalf of the whole show, before you say nobody look for you, we missed your presence, righteous man.
Thank you so much. I want to thank everybody. We are moving over to where Forefathers is hosting, and the conversation will continue. We didn't touch on all the topics we mentioned today. He will continue that conversation. And after him, the ladies will have their show, which will also be on a different stream. So going forward, this is one of the new changes we are putting in place. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. I will also join you guys at the other end. Thank you, everybody, for joining in. I want to thank the people who became members of this channel on YouTube: Innovation, Bed Africa, and Arenano. And then, of course, want to thank Alexander Gomez for his super chat. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Bumi Show, Flagship Revolution, Mr. James, Eagles Air, Paul, Ike. Thank you.
When your